now?
Yes.
We're doing overtime as well?
Yes.
Yeah.
Really?
Are you
Yes.
nervous, man?
No, I was like, hey,
He's ready to-
You blast it out.
Oh, he turned us off
We're
already.
good.
Hello and welcome to the Simmons Says podcast. And folks, I have to start this off with some terrible news. Some terrible, terrible news. This is the last Simmons Says podcast. Because we're going to be the Warren County Sports Authority podcast from here on out, and you can see us live all the time. In fact, we are live on Facebook right now. You see the hat? You see the guys? Got Trevor Evans, Chris Sullins, newly minted district champion, Danny Fish, coach. We have 4 district championships in the last 6 years staring me right in the face right now.
Hey, we get it done over here, brother. Hey, and think about it. As soon as he leaves here, he can become a podcast fixture.
Yeah.
There you
go.
There you go.
Yeah.
Hey,
Hey,
isn't that a lot of people do? You know,
Yeah,
you
when
try to
you're
figure out
done playing,
you're done
yeah.
playing. You kind of get, he's fine tuning.
Yeah, there you go.
yeah. Well, we are live on Facebook. We're going to be doing the first hour of this show, kind of like we did the radio show last week. If you were with us last week, we'll do it in segments, but then we're going to do OT. So we're happy about this, guys.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, the last week rewind. I mean, it I think a lot of things have changed. A little bit has changed, but not a ton has changed. But the biggest thing that happened in the last week was, I guess they announced that I'm actually going to be coming over here full time. That's a little bit.
Yeah.
Other than that,
That's the biggest thing that happened in the last week.
Is that all that happened in this community?
That's the
last
only thing
week?
that's happened.
The state,
A couple of
the world?
championships. No, but hey, the last week Rewind is sponsored by Blue Line Lawn Care and Pressure Washing. And Matt Brown does an excellent job and provides business and residential services in Warren County and DeKalb County. He's licensed and insured and can provide a free estimate. If you give him a call at 808-3427, we're always happy to be in business and supporting the Thin Blue Line. No. In the last week, we won another district championship in
Absolutely.
basketball. We had 4 region champs in wrestling, and there was also a girls' basketball team that won a district championship in town, too. I don't remember where they came from. But, Coach,
Across
Fish.
the river?
Yeah, 2 miles away. Yeah. I'll never forget going into the gym one time over there, and Lady Pioneer looks at me and goes, shouldn't you be 10 miles away? And I'm like, we're way closer than 10 miles away from y'all.
Yeah.
Anyways, no, Coach, we're
2.5.
yeah, we got Danny Fish here, and we're going to talk a lot about Warren County going to Coffee County, winning the border battle, and clinching a regular season title in there. First thoughts when you came out of that game, OT game?
Yeah, I was proud of our guys. The ball bounces 1/8 of an inch the other way, and we're talking different stuff, But I think you make your own breaks. Our guys have worked extremely hard all year to be in that position. I'd have liked to had a little space there, at the end. But sometimes, and we're in sports, the ball just didn't bounce our way tonight, right? It was good to see it bounce our way on that night. Throughout the overtime, I thought that we were the more dominant team in OT, and we had a lot of ups and downs in that game. I thought that we come out of the gates pretty well. I thought the technical kind of threw us back a little bit there. Nate was kind of rolling and getting really excited and getting rowdy, and I think that kind of changed the momentum. That, along with Devin picking up his second foul and having to go to the bench. I think they went on 14-16-0 run or some crap like that, which was crazy. I thought they played really well. Thought they shot the ball really well. Brady Wright played out of his mind in the first half. Their 3 possessions in the second quarter, knocking down 29-foot threes with contested. Caden Trail played really good in that game for them, and Andrew's a great coach, and he's always going to be prepared and take the things away from you that you do well, and that's what good coaches do, right? So, we were able to, find some ways to score some baskets and, keep it close. Nate, like I said, he played a really good game, and, there in the OT, it was money time, so we went to Dev, and, he kind of was undeniable. We think about Ike Johnson being undeniable. We talk about that stuff all the time, and I was just really proud for our team, proud for him, and it's good.
Yeah.
So.
We don't want to jump too much on the Dev praise here. I want to give Trev plenty of leeway on his TNT Power Broker of the Week, which we'll do in the next segment. Yeah, Coach is big time. I think Warren County raised over $9,000, I believe, for McMinnville Special Games. 57 points helped that total.
Yeah.
Hey, was that the plan? Hey, was going to OT was get a couple extra points.
No, if 70 in regulation was the count for me, I was trying to get to 70. That would have been a good number. I mean, we've been at 60. Probably the last 10 games we're averaging 59.8 points per game or something like that. And I feel like we're about 8 points away, whether that be 4 on the defensive side or 4 on the offensive side, of being really good. Mm-hmm. But when you talk about 4 to 6 possessions, it's tough sometimes. It doesn't come as easy as you want it to. And I think I'm getting payback right now because 3 weeks ago, I was complaining that we were winning by 16. In our Saturday morning coaches call, we have a call, and I was like, yeah, I think that we should have beat them more, but I'm greedy, and now we're fighting to just win games by 5, 7, 2, 3 points. So I guess the lesson to be learned is, don't complain about winning, and just be happy with where you're at. And some days will be easier than others, and you'll play better on some days than others. But we're ready to go for the postseason. 2 games back at Charlie Dalton on Thursday and Friday should have get us primed for that run throughout the postseason.
Yep. Well, guys, with the new radio segment, we're already through, I think, the first little bit. So we're going to go ahead and take a small break. If you are joining us right now with Facebook Live, you'll see we'll be able to go through all the way through. But if you're listening to us on the radio, thank you for listening. And as Danny just pointed out, Warren County will be playing basketball here in about an hour. So we'll take a quick break, and we'll be right back. All right, folks, we are back. Thank you so much, and hey, bear with us because this is our first time doing this. Coach came in, and I don't think he was nervous, but he was like, "Hey, when we doing this? Well, we're gonna do it. What's changing here?"
You know, we've been asking,
Right.
and all of a sudden you like get hit with it, and you're like, "Whoa,
Hey, now.
I don't know if I'm ready."
Yeah, we kept. It's like, maybe next week.
I figured out what those blue lights meant, though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? No, what's that blue light on?
Didn't have to worry about it last week.
Yeah, hotline. Hey, if you want to ask us some questions, go on our Facebook page, 97.7 WBMC. You can ask us there. You can also go down the Main Street Media page, ask in the comments, and we'll be answering because we're going to go in OT tonight too.
Yes.
So we're here for a while.
Yes.
So we're going to be here for as long as y'all have questions for us. Now we don't want to take too much time
Yeah,
out of Coach Fish's busy schedule.
I got film to watch.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
got film to
games
watch.
get ready
So,
for.
if-
We should put the film up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, that's what I kind of want to do.
We'd
a
be
coach's
here a
show.
long time.
I want to do like a film room,
absolutely.
a film room,
Like
Room.
the John Gruden on, you know
Yeah.
what I mean?
I
When
was-
they're breaking down the quarterback. What was that quarterback on ESPN?
Quarterback score.
the
something.
fire,
Yeah.
the fire
Yeah.
coaches
Yeah.
thing or something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, I was like,
Wouldn't that been great though, Trev, to have like film study? You know what I'm
Can-
saying? When I'm just ripping you left
I
and
mean,
right.
can we censor
Could
it?
you
Like-
not
like,
get to the block?
Is there a bleep button
Your
on
job
this thing?
was to get to the block.
yeah, I don't know what these all say.
Yeah,
right
one
here,
of them's
Trevor.
gotta be
One
bleep.
of these got to be maybe the B.
Mute.
Maybe. It just goes silent.
Yeah, off. Yeah, guys. All right. Well, let's set up TNT Power Broker of the Week. Trev, that's sponsored by Napa McMinnville, and being it's a new year, it's not quite a new year anymore. We're in February. We're
Right.
going to get a new ad read for them. But hey, we're going to stay with the one we got, which is Napa wants to let our followers here know that change is good. And if you need change, Napa's here to help. Need to change with your wipers? They got the Rain-X wipers on
You need
sale.
them right now.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
been raining. I noticed.
Need to change your car or truck battery? They have discounts for listeners of the Warren County Sports Authority podcast.
Hey.
And also, if you need to change your oil, Napa oil is $3.99 a quart. No Fam Club membership is required for those prices.
Take care of everybody.
Trev, who is our TNT Power Broker of the
Hey,
Week?
it's pretty simple for me, boys. Sunday was a good night, so I'm just going to go with the Philadelphia Eagles, man. That was a heck of a game for me. I'd have liked to have been a little further apart, but hey.
I said it the moment that it happened. I said that you and Sullins were going to have a really nice Wednesday night, giving me a lot of credit.
Yeah, which I can't say much because I kind of agree with you on the whole if he wins, he might be the GOAT thing. But Tom Brady would have never done that, boys. That was flat out just that was pretty bad.
bad night.
Ooh. Hey, I enjoyed it, though.
How many couches you go out and burn?
None. I had to get up, go to work Monday morning, so we didn't get too.
Well, I mean, a lot of people in Philadelphia had to get up and go to work.
Yeah,
Of course, they just stayed out all night.
Well,
Yeah.
it's all right.
I'll tell you right now. That's going to be that's going to be a little bit of our take of medicine. Get foreshadowing about that Monday morning thing.
Yeah.
we got to fix that. But yeah, that's not bad.
Give
I'm
Pat-
okay with the Eagles thing. Hey, let's also shout out the fact like we said.
And Coach Sullivan said something last week about them sleepwalking. Well, they were still sleepwalking, Coach. They just sleptwalked right
They had the sleep medication.
Yeah.
going.
Yeah, that's the medicine they took.
The Swifty crowd just had a bad.
It was.
Get-
It was
got
rough.
booed, got booed.
Yeah,
Rough.
Kelsey did not play well. Now the film's coming out of
That
just
Eagles
how bad he
defense
was.
just suffocating though.
Oh,
I mean,
it's
there's
crazy.
so much pressure on him
flat
all
out.
night long.
Oh, yeah.
Flat out.
Shout out to Cooper DeJean.
Yeah.
Yeah, big one
Attaboy.
there, yeah.
Birthday touchdown.
Kid, pretty good basketball.
Dude,
He was in high
you
school.
seen his mixtape,
Man,
basketball
that's
high school
crazy.
mixtape?
Had a pretty good senior.
Looked like
year,
he's 25 and supposed to be in
Yeah.
high school.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, hey, guy, are you juicing right now? You're in high school.
He's soaring through people, man, dunking on guys. That's not a bad one, Trev. I also say, like we said, shout out to the Warren County basketball team for claiming its fourth
doubt.
district championship in the last 6 years. Trev's saving it. He thinks y'all got even bigger aspirations.
Oh, we do.
I know they do.
We do have bigger
goals.
aspirations.
And then, of course, also we have 4 wrestlers over the weekend claim a region championship, and 8 wrestlers overall qualify for sectionals, which will be happening this Saturday at McMinn County High School. So hoping for all of them to go and qualify. I said it back in about a month ago, or say in the future, I said we'd have 7 qualify for state. Well, we got 8 with the opportunity. So, I mean, now it's going to be – I'm going to need some of them to maybe make a couple extra steps
Got to
here.
make a jump there.
But you got to think those guys, the 4 that finished first and the 2 that finished second, you got to think that
that's
they're
pretty
in a
good.
pretty good range to be a top 4 at
You
sectionals.
need that 1 or 2 to come through for you.
Yeah, I need those
Yeah.
extra 2 to
It's a
come
fan
through.
duel right there. You gotta-
yeah,
yeah.
100%. But, man,
Yeah, I like Zurich. You know, I like Xavier Simmons.
yeah. I think our 106 and 113 with
Kobe.
Galligan and O'Neill.
Yeah. He looked really good. You know, I was out there the other night and
man. Shout
I
out to y'all.
sit and we went and ate at Medley's the day after, had team meal, and then went out to watch wrestling and rip and roar a little bit. And we watched a couple hours before we left.
Oh, yeah.
It was amazing. Like, that's what I was telling my wife is like, you don't know how fit those guys are. You have no clue of how fit they are. Every one of them got tree trunk legs and broad backs and big arms, and even the little guys, right? It's just unbelievable to watch. And it was a good meet there at the Dalton. I thought Coach Harris and his staff run a good meet as far as I could tell.
Oh, yeah.
It was fun. It was loud. Our guys were energetic while they were watching, and it was good that we had media there, and they were interviewing people throughout the day. So even wrestlers and just people that showed up, and it was a good day to watch those guys. I feel pretty confident about those guys going to McMinn and doing well.
I think so too. Yeah, it's a big time for them. I would say it was nice to see a lot of Pioneer spirit in the adult this weekend, and I think that it'll be carried over into the weekend. So yeah, I'm very, very. I know they cut it out. You got the teaser promo.
Oh, absolutely.
Sullen's on record saying Zerrick's going to win it all.
I think he's going to win it all. I mean, that's just all there is to it. I think he's going to win the state.
We'll see how that goes, but yeah, for the weekend, big time. I mean, it's big time. It's a big time celebration between basketball team clinching the regular season district championship and 9-4A, and then the boys going over to have 4.
We kind of foreshadowed this a little bit back during the fall, did we not?
Yeah.
Did we not say?
I think we said this.
Hey, the boys basketball team's going to be pretty darn good.
Yep.
And wrestling's going to have a lot of guys that do well. So hey, if you want to know what's really going on, don't be afraid to listen.
Oh, yeah, 100%. And hey, don't
Nostradamus is in the room now.
Hey, like I said, you can send us questions now on Facebook Live. Get on there.
Yeah, and if you don't like a comment, you can tell us right off the bat, right there.
Nope, didn't like that one.
You don't have to wait now, do you?
There's
no text messages the next day. Hey, I heard what you said last night. Yeah. No, I told Trev, I said, now one thing I'm going to have to ask about is we're going to have to work on the security over here and everything, because it's like now when Sullins is over here and says, and if you don't like it, you can come find me.
They know
and
where
all of a sudden, 5 minutes
They know
later,
where
lock that door
they start
now.
knocking.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, Sullins, I think that's the guy that you said something about.
I just hope it's not a wrestler, because I'm going to have a tough time escaping this room.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Need some more room in here,
Yeah, let's do our best not to offend the wrestling crowd at all. Yeah, absolutely. Let's go back to, like I said, because I do have back to the Super Bowl point that you were making with a Taking Your Medicine, sponsored by McMinnville Drug Center, which is located on Sparta Street across from the hospital. It's open Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. and also on Saturday from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. They're locally owned and been serving our community since 1977. 48 years, Trev. 48 years.
Taking good care of the people, man.
100%. They offer an array of services, including the ability to do compounds for people and animals. They also do vaccinations, and they deliver. They're also a great spot for DME supplies and do wheelchair and knee scooter rentals. Taking Your Medicine. I think there were a lot of people in this country Monday morning had to bust out the ibuprofen, the Advil. So, oh, man.
Caffeine pill.
Caffeine. So, oh, man. So, can we fix this? Let's just make Monday. The Super Bowl Monday, let's just make this a holiday. Let's figure this
with
out.
you.
Yeah. I mean, let's just. I mean,
Sounds like a good executive order to me.
Sign that
there
back.
might be a guy out there. I think old Donald J can make a call here.
Yeah,
or let's just move the Super Bowl Sunday to right before President's Day that they're already letting out.
That's fine with me.
Let's
I
make
would
it a
be
3-day
off,
weekend.
but that's all right.
Yeah. I mean, just something. I mean, what do we keep doing this for?
I'm with you.
Yeah. No, I mean, granted, I woke up Monday. I was fine. I was good to go. I was ready. Oh yeah.
Well, you was excited Monday.
Yeah.
I mean, there's going to be some breaking
Breaking
news. You didn't
news,
sleep
man.
in.
Oh yeah,
exactly.
Oh yeah, I think I was
Press
calling in
releases
on
and all
Town
that
Talk.
stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was up at
Except
6:30
for immediate release, it's like, whoa,
Hey,
hey,
if he was up at 7:30,
he's got to start training. He's got to start training his
two
body,
things.
man.
It's either 12 and Santa Claus showed up, or it was a new job opportunity.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So Santa Claus did show up with a new job opportunity
Exactly.
in the form of Chad Graves. Yeah, absolutely. No, that would be my big. I don't want to. Let's get this to where we don't have to be taking the medicine on Monday morning after the Super Bowl, even though this is our special is for taking the medicine there. But yeah, I just want to get that. I want to get that out there. It's been batted around. I know people have joked about it all the time. Stop joking about this.
Kind of like daylight savings time, right? Hey, let's do it, right?
Yeah, just do it.
but
I mean, did I hear the number that was
that needs to happen.
150 million people watched the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Now I know that that's not just in the United States, but hey, I guarantee you every other country will be like, yeah, we'll take a day off. No one's arguing against days off. In fact, there's a lot of people that are very probably taking a celebratory lap for having 3 days off this week. Trying to get him going. I'm gonna try to get some.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to get some.
Hey, I'm gonna be honest. In the group snap, here's what I said. Correct me if I'm wrong, Trev. She said I was gonna bully, and here's what I said. I got nothing. I got nothing. I mean, y'all win.
That's what
you win.
That's what he said. He said, "Y'all win.
Y'all win.
I got nothing."
I got nothing.
Yeah. Anyway, it's rain, man. It's raining. It's been raining.
I'm a little upset she didn't show up tonight. I mean, let's just be honest. She was off.
She
today.
got scared off. But she got scared off by
Danny.
Danny.
Scared her off.
She was like, "Hey, what time's it going to be? It's this thing." I was like, "Yeah, good. Yeah, come on in. We got Danny's coming in too." She goes, "Oh,
but you did us so wrong
Well,
because she asked what time it was going to be,
Yeah.
and I said 5 o'clock.
Oh, I didn't back y'all up.
Yes, and I text Trev. I said, "You better not. You better not say anything different." So she was going to be here an hour early. You know what I mean? Get the best seat in the house.
That's my bad, man.
And then she said, "Oh, Jeff said y'all was lying."
I didn't
"Come
say I
on,
was
man."
lying. I just said she asked
Well,
me at 6 o'clock at the radio station.
Yeah.
So yeah, sorry about that, man. I wasn't on the same page.
Can't have fun anymore, Coach.
Yeah, exactly.
100%.
People
Come
are here
on.
to ruin it.
If she asked what time, you know there's a reason she's asking. So you should, you know what I mean? You should have saved her.
Yeah.
You should have snapped her text and said, "Hey, why is she asking me?"
Well, she got me at a bad time because I was in basketball practice and I was
You just
already
responded
like, "Hey, what I'm busy," and I was like, "Oh, okay, whatever." Just send
It wasn't even-
A good one though, because since both of you are here, okay, and Trev's been there, you brought something up. What text do you take in basketball practice that you actually will answer? Danny's going none.
I don't
Okay.
carry my phone in practice.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
Traditionally, I put my phone on. I put my phone up. I don't even
Okay.
have it. We just happened to be doing film when she was talking,
Okay.
doing it. So I had my phone and saw it come through. But yeah, traditionally my phone's up and like it's either on a charger or it's away.
Okay.
I'm on. Yeah, because I know if I have it in my pocket, I'm just out of just routine.
Yeah.
I'm going to open it, look at it, and if I see a message. But no. Now the answer would be if I did see something coming through, unless it's mom or dad, probably not answering it at all.
Okay.
Now if you get a mom or dad message, you're like, what? I need to make sure
Check that
what's
out.
going on here.
Yeah.
Yeah. But other than that, yeah, the team it was my birthday week ago, and then my team was making fun of me because I was answering I answered the phone right before practice. And they were like, "Hey, no phones in the gym." I was like, "Hey, that's my mom calling."
Yeah, gotta
I was
answer
like, "You
those.
answer them when mom
Yeah, I
calls."
got to answer
Yeah,
my
no,
mom.
for sure.
Yeah. But other than that, no, I don't take. I'm with Danny. I don't want my phone on me because I just
Distraction.
yeah, 100%.
And she didn't even text in the group with me and Jeff. She texted him because so
Yes,
I couldn't even
yes,
get in there and be like, he said 5.
Yeah,
Oh well, yeah. No, she's clever.
she got clever on us there,
Yeah.
Trev.
Yeah, I was gonna say that was good, but no,
But see, that's just me bullying her again.
Yeah,
That's her key. That's her go-to word.
That
now.
is her go-to
I'm just
word.
bullying.
it is.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
y'all. I mean,
She may be tuned in right now, Hans.
Hey, what's up, Hans? How you doing?
Hands, you're out there listening.
Hey, she had. Was it roast beef tonight? She was
I
telling
don't
you
know.
she was
She
cooking.
just sent us a
Mashed potatoes?
snap. Hold on.
Oh, she just. Oh no! Here's what she's saying. Shut up.
She said eating dinner and listening to y'all. So
I hope it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Let us know how it's going out. Sullivan's teasing
Yep.
a second ago, so let's go through and hit one more category before we go to our next break. Seeing the future for Splash and Go. Randy Nall and his guys do a great job of detailing, washing, and all specialized services for for your vehicle at his location on Chancery Street. You can give him a call at 473-7878, and you won't be disappointed. Guys over there, Randy Nall, I mean, good guy. Good guy,
Absolutely,
do a
yeah.
good job. We already said some of the stuff that we said and see in the future is already hit. So does anybody have a big time see in the future here? I have one that I will 100% go against your Trev's TNT Power Broker of the Week. The Eagles ain't going back to back. That would be my Super Bowl. That would be my But I think that's an easy
Okay.
one. Do you have a
no,
have a
I
better
mean,
one?
do I have a what? Are you saying you think?
No, it could be anything. I'm just saying that. they're
No,
not
I
going
don't.
back to
I mean,
back.
I don't. I think that's a bad take, but
Oh, you think they're set
Yeah.
up for back to back?
I mean, I still think they're the most talented team in the league, top to bottom. You only got 3 or 4 starters that are going to be free agents who we could easily re-sign. We're looking pretty good in the cap space.
Schedule get
Hey,
tough for
hey,
teams.
Trev does know
The season more.
show prep.
Yeah.
Knows everything about the Philadelphia Eagles
No doubt,
salary
man.
cap. Think about
No
that.
doubt.
You know what I mean? Hey, you know what you want to know, right?
Yeah.
Danny, you got about 30 seconds here. You got any big time see in the future? What do you see in the future going on right now?
Hopefully us winning a district championship, district tournament championship. Hopefully us getting further in the region than we've gotten in the past. I think that's a big step for our program if we're able to get past that first round. So that's what I see in our future.
There you go.
2 wins on Thursday, Friday, and then go through the district tournament and host a first-round region game.
Yep. Now, don't miss. People out there are gonna be like, "Oh, he just guaranteed wins and championships, stuff like that." That's that's coaches saying that's what we always visualize.
expect.
Which is we visualize wins all the time.
I'm guaranteeing it. Guaranteed.
Well, there you go. Danny didn't do it. Sellens did. All right, we're going to take our second break. We'll be right back. If you're on there with Facebook Live, get your questions in. Let us know how it's going, and we will get those. We will get to those questions probably in OT, probably in a little bit of OT. But we really appreciate it. We'll be right back. I think he's trying to get us live. All right, folks, we are back, and we're going to hit a couple segments. But before we do that, we have our first question. Someone has sent me a picture of their Warren County Sports Authority hat and said, "Is it time to start dusting these things off? Can we put them back in public?" I think so.
No doubt.
Do you have yours still?
Oh yeah, man. Hey, I
Yeah.
still got my media credentials.
Absolutely.
If we still
You got the
need,
media?
yeah,
You got Ann's has got media credentials.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
we're actually part of the media now, correct?
yeah.
yeah.
We
It's
would be
It's
media.
free everywhere.
Hey, all media gets in free. It's a district tournament.
Oh.
Just saying,
man.
dude.
We're on our
Just
way,
saying.
Trev.
Put us on the pass list.
Put us
All
on
right,
the
that's
list.
shelvable.
Yeah, now you got your tag, man.
Yeah,
We're
get
good.
Walk in.
I was just walking on.
Don't you know who I am?
That's usually what people will do that. I'll say this. It's funny. One time in 15 years, I've walked into the Dalt and I got stopped at the table, and I'm like, got the camera on, walking
At the Dalt?
through. Yeah, at the Dalt. At the Dalt. Now, other places I usually at the other places I already have my credential ready, so I just show them to them.
Who stopped? Like, who, oh, my bad. I
Stomping on my story.
Hey, simmer, man.
He's so.
Simmer.
You're gonna laugh when you hear who it was too. I'm sitting there walking through. I never show my card anymore because it's like 3 or 4 years into the job. I'm like, everybody knows who I am at that point. I was like, I'm a big deal now. I'm a celebrity. I walk through and a lady goes, "Ho, who are you?" And I was like, "Jeff Simmons. I'm a paper guy. I'm gonna go take pictures." And they're like, "Do you have a pass or anything?" So I'm like, "Well, I got my press pass." She goes, "Oh, okay. I guess you can go." Medora Wilmore. Todd's mom.
Oh, okay.
Todd's mom as AD.
Trev looked at me like, who's
Who was my junior teacher, and me and her have joked about this. The best thing that one of the best things that me and her joked about. I had her in English, AP English 3, my junior year. I failed a paper, and I went to her and I said, "Hey, what?" She goes, I just don't think writing's your thing.
She said, get in the radio business.
Yeah, you got a voice for radio. So, hey, here I am. Anyways, no, it was really fun. But that was the only time I got stopped there. But no, we got an avoiding disaster segment. And I think when we have a second question I want to ask you, and it's going to tie into avoiding disaster, sponsored by Adam Wood with Farm Bureau, with his office located right across from the Country Club Market in the shopping center. And the phone number there is 931-668-7075. It's a one-stop shop for all your insurance needs. That's what I hear, Trev.
No doubt. Hey, come out there. Let us quote your business.
You got the hats on. You
Yeah,
you got
hey.
Sullins a hat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm telling you, hey, Danny's really, he's like, hey, you got the Warren County Sports Authority hats, got Farm Bureau hats, and I got nothing.
Hey, we'll get you taken care of, Coach.
Well, as much money as I pay to Farm Bureau, they should
Hey,
give me
we'll-
a free
There
hat.
you go.
and
You asked if he was a
quarter
customer.
zip.
I
Hey,
didn't
that's
know.
what most coaches say. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but hey, on the avoiding disaster thing, you mentioned it in the first segment, talking about Nate Turner and the technical foul there. How does one player or a coach in those situations avoid disasters when it comes to technical fouls? And what did you think of that situation?
Sub. And come on, man. I mean, these are kids that are playing in an extremely hostile environment. It's a big-time environment for them. I don't like, unless they're purposely like taunting a player or putting it in their face or dunk it and they step over top of them, Shaquille O'Neal style. I mean, come on, just let the kids play the game. The kid was excited. Don't say anything to the guys that were 35, 40 deep over there on the sideline that's on the red. You don't know what they're saying to him, right?
Oh yeah.
But Nate, he got excited and, during I think he hit 2 in a row, and I'd kind of seen that. And in that association over there, I think it's been kind of emphasis for them, because there's not been many games that I've watched on film or actually played in where there wasn't a technical foul for some reason over there. We've had them multiple times say, hey, man, don't talk at the free throw line, tuck your shirt in for warm-ups, don't celebrate when you do something good. And I think that just kind of takes away from the game a little bit and takes away from the atmosphere. I would have liked for it to have been a little bit better done, I guess. It's like I was telling Chris. Nate had done it twice. They took a timeout. Coach Taylor said something to the official. I think that would have been a great opportunity to be a solid professional official and come over, and after we were coming back on the floor, hey, first whistle, hey, Coach, need to get number 11 to calm down, because if he shoots that number 3 again, we're probably going to tee him up. Yeah, I could take care of that. Not a problem.
Yeah, it's actually funny that you said that, because Brent Carden came over there and we were both on the baseline. And you could tell Nate, I mean, hey, he's fired up. He's a senior. It's a rivalry game. He's hit a couple of big threes to put y'all.
I mean, this is his first time in that game doing those things too, right? He's been waiting for that moment.
And like you said, I mean, I got some pictures over there, and I mean, it's whatever Nate's saying. It's no telling what's being said by the 100 people that are around him as he's saying it. But Brent comes up to me, he goes, man, I guess I could have went and said something to the bench over there. He's like, because I heard the referee tell the other referee, he does that again, I'm sticking him.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, yeah. And Brent was like, he's like, I guess that's not really my job. I was like, no, it's kind of the referee's job.
Right.
He's like, he could have at least went over there and said, like you said, but is what it is. Coach, how did you avoid technical fouls in Coffee County? How did you avoid the disaster of technical fouls in Coffee?
Do you have amnesia or something?
Yeah, I don't know if he avoided them.
I mean, I never avoided them. I mean, and that being said, I think Danny will agree. We're very fortunate in this area of the official association we deal with. I think we deal with some of the most well-spoken, well-versed officials that you're going to come across in this state. I don't think there's any doubt that when you cross that line, that's when the official association does change. Different official associations do put points of emphasis on different things.
Yes.
Another thing, Danny, just like myself, you're going to have a good relationship with the officials you're seeing every single night in your association. You're seeing them, you build rapport with them. Not that doesn't happen in Coffee, but Andrew's going to probably have a better relationship because he's seeing those guys. That's who he's dealt with for the last 10 or 12 years. I agree with Danny. Good officials will come to a coach. Good officials either do this. They'll either come to the coach or they'll go just look at the player in the eye and say, young man,
Relax.
That's enough.
Yep.
Yeah.
Here's your warning. That's what a quality official does. That's what an official that's well-versed, that's been in those atmospheres. Because that atmosphere, let's be honest, that atmosphere not only gets to players, it gets to coaches.
Officials, too.
It gets to officials.
Yeah.
And that's why you want your best officials in that type of atmosphere. I would hope that association would realize that game and that association that night was probably one of the top 2 or 3 that you need. It's going to be a hostile environment. Mm-hmm. You're going to have fan bases that are going back and forth. It's going to be a full gym. Going to be hot. So I think that – did Nate get a little excited? He did.
Oh, yeah.
But let's be honest. Everybody says, well, he shouldn't do that. I tell you what, you go down there and hit three threes in front of a student section.
Contested, too.
Contested, and tell me if you don't get a little excited.
Yeah.
Okay? I mean, Sloan was a great example. If he got in front, Sloan Seymour, if he got in front of a student section and did something positive, he was going to let that student section know.
And if he did something negative, they would let him know.
Absolutely. So that's just part of the atmosphere that goes on. I agree with totally what Danny says. It would have been great for an official to look at that young man because let's be honest, that young man's probably going to be in that situation again. You got a district tournament coming up. You're going to have those
Same guys?
Absolutely.
You know?
So that was I think that was a mistake. I don't want to say a mistake on the young man's part because he's just excited. I think in some ways an official association could say, "Hey, let's do a little bit better."
Yeah.
Well,
that's my
you
opinion.
know what they could have done? They could have helped Warren County and Nate Turner avoid disaster right there.
Yep.
All right, that's the avoiding disaster. Brought to you by Farm Bureau and Adam Wood.
Yep.
Good guy. Hey,
Have
do you
we
think Adam Wood ever avoided disaster or getting technicals on the bench?
Yeah, he blamed Cameron Bond.
Are we close on this segment? Because I do have one question about golf.
we got about 7 minutes. Go.
I'm being dead serious here. How did you get the seat that you had?
Man, that's what
Yeah, tell them the story.
Yeah, I mean, come on
Tell 'em
now.
the story.
I mean, I'm looking down there like, why didn't they just roll him a recliner in over there? You know what I mean?
out and just
It's because it's not what you know, it's who you know.
Okay.
So I'm over there, and it's before the game. I get there. I'm talking. I'm around. Of course, people will probably give me a hard time because I spent most of the time on the sideline with a lot of red and the sideline with a lot of blue. I get that a lot anyways. But they asked me, Granny Gannon, they call her Granny. She had surgery. She was going to be over there, and they were worried that if somebody came flying off the court, she wouldn't be able to move. So they said, hey, well, if we put a chair beside her, will you just sit over there, and in case anybody comes over there, stop them? I was like, oh, you're going to put a chair out for me?
Absolutely.
Yes. I don't care where. Put it anywhere. I was like, so, yeah, I got a chair over there. You know, of course, it's like Coach said, you know, it's not always what you know, it's who you know. I do happen to coach 2 of her daughters.
I was going to say,
but you got more comfortable as a game.
Yeah.
Because at some point in time
lean
you did the
back.
Sullins, you just kind of leaned back,
Yeah.
wasn't paying no attention to the game. Hey, I'm just over giving autographs.
Yeah. Talking about the podcast.
Chad was over there for a while.
Yeah,
we were
see?
talking about things. Yeah.
That lady could have got smoked. And Jeff would have never known.
No idea. You had one job.
Well, she left for the boys' game, so she wasn't there. I didn't have to protect
his
you.
chair.
He said, I'm good.
Yeah, no, I actually left and walked off, and I was like, they'll take the chair up, something out there. Somebody will go sit in it, and that'll be it. And then as the boys' game started, I looked back over there, and it was still there. I'm like, I guess that's my chair for the rest of the night.
Musical chairs.
They probably said, hey, don't sit there. Jeff Simmons would be
That's
right
Jeff
back.
Simmons' chair.
Yeah, I told one of my girls, hey, hold that chair for me. That's mine. I'll be back. Don't worry about it. Yeah, no, it was actually funny because I had a fun time, and I guess we have 5 minutes. We can talk about the girls' game that happened that night. There was a girls' game that happened that night. We like talking about the boys' game a lot more, but it was funny when she was talking. She's like, I don't understand how they're subbing right now because hey. When you're family, you start thinking about how the family goes. And I was like, well, I think he's trying to get into a pressure situation or something like that. And she's like, I think if Shannon score every single time that she touches the ball, I was like, well, I'm not going to disagree with you on that one. I was like, so, man, she made some unreal catches and plays in that game. It's one of those things when you watch that, and we talked about this before. We talked this on the previous pod. It's not any discredit to what Warren County did or didn't do in that game. I think a lot of the credit just has to go to the fact that when you watch that team, which I believe Coffee County's 28-0 now, and in some places ranked number 1 in the state. I think I would say that in my rankings, in the Jeff Simmons rankings, I think they solidified probably a number 2 spot, because until you beat Bradley Central Central's the number 1 team in the state. But I think that's what I got from the girls' game more than anybody else. I don't know what y'all. I know what y'all saw about that. You just saw where that Coffee County, who has I think 3 Division I committed players in that starting lineup, looked like a team that had 3 Division I committed players in the starting lineup, and also kind of had a game where they were incentivized to score as many points as they could.
Yeah,
I think that's what I saw there.
Yeah,
I don't know if anybody else.
I mean, I think you're exactly right. When you put, I think we talked about it a little bit last week. When you put a goal or something in front of Coach Joe Pat and say, "Hey, man, the more you score, the more money that charity gets," he's going to say, "Hey, let's see what we can do here," and he may not call the dogs off as quickly as he would have normally. So,
well, yeah, when you say call the dogs off, I mean they're just a good basketball team.
I was going to say they were rolling 2 and 3 lineups in, and we were like, well, it's not getting worse.
Danny's going to agree with it. When you got a good basketball team, I don't know if is it fair to have that good of a team and say, oh, we're only going to play those kids 5, 6, 8 to 10 minutes. Those kids, hey, they're at home. They're at their place. That's as big a game. I think Danny will agree with it. That's as big a game as this district's going to have.
Yeah.
It's the biggest rivalry both teams have right now. So, and they just did what they did what they're supposed to do when you're a top 4, top 5 team in the state right now. And they're just like Danny's team and a lot of other teams. I mean, they've got big aspirations going forward. I mean, anything less than probably going to the state this year is probably not on their agenda. You know, their agenda is, hey, we're going to the Glass House. And I think they won a big basketball game last night at Lincoln County.
Yep.
A team that's probably
tight too.
Tight basketball game.
I think they ended up winning about 10, but it was 4 or 5 point game there. 2 minutes left.
So hey, all credit to Joe Pat. This is not just a 1-year deal. It's kind of like the Warren County boys. I mean, they've had a really good run down there for quite some time. And that's that shout out to them because they do a heck of a job.
I mean, yeah, and they're going to be geared up to play Warren County because, like you just said, they've had this extended run. The only
blemish,
quote unquote blemish, was having to share a regular season district title with Warren County not 3 seasons ago. So yeah, Coach, I know y'all are in preparation mode, but I'm sure you got a little bit of glimpse of that, and you've had a glimpse of the Lady Pioneer program throughout the year. You've coached girls before. What would be your words of encouragement as that team finishes out its regular season?
I just keep grinding. It's opportunity every day. We all have the same amount of hours in the day to get better at our skill sets, and just looking at both men and women's programs, you're only going to be as good as your skill sets are. Mm-hmm. A lot of kids devote a lot of their time to playing games. Let's go play games. Look, you're just the same player that you were if you're not improving your skill set. The biggest thing that I see with both teams is you got to improve your skill set daily, and you got to transform your game from year to year. You can't be the same player next year as you are this year. A lot of our, if we're talking about the girls basketball team, it was a really young team. Mm-hmm. I think they've gotten better in areas. I don't watch them a lot. I watch about a half per game. You got some girls there that, they're working hard. I think that a true point guard on that team is probably what they have to have the most. I feel like if I was coaching their team, I think they got some guards there that are pretty serviceable guards. But, and it's the same thing that we run into, got to have a guard that's going to have command of the floor. I'm sorry, big players, high school basketball, college basketball, pro basketball, it's about guard play. And if
I've
never
heard that.
You're only going to be as good as your guard play is. You're only going to go as far as your guards are going to take you, and you're going to be better because of it.
Yeah. Well, we'll get a little bit more into that. We're going to take our last break here, and we will be right back. Guard play on the Warren County Sports Authority podcast and radio show.
Never heard it.
Yeah.
All right, we are back on the Warren County Sports Authority podcast, radio show, different things. We're going to be a lot of things. Just to let everybody know on that, why there's a name change. Because I'm taking Simmons Says with me to the Daily. We're going to be Simmons Says Daily from 9 to 10 a.m. on WBMC 97.7 FM. I'm going to be on there, I think, starting February the 24th. So I took that. I'm going to go Simmons Says there.
Attaboy.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. We've talked about this a lot over the last. It's not really Simmons Says when the Sullins rant of the week's probably the thing that everybody looks
Tunes
for.
in for it, yeah.
Yeah, right. And then Trev's got. I mean, he's got the power broker. He's always got the best questions when it comes to.
He's got 10 right now.
Yeah, he's ready to fire it up. He's over there. No, he's over there searching Facebook right now, hoping somebody will ask a question. There's a couple in here. We're going to get to them in OT, but we're going to get one more segment in before we go through and wrap up at least the radio session part of this one. That is the Mud Bums Hot Wings Hot Take. Anybody ready to go on that one? I'll give y'all time. I'll give you a little bit of time while I do a little bit of a ad read. Valentine's Day at Mud Bums. Treat your special someone to a memorable evening with us over at Mud Bums. Join us Friday, February 14th for a night of delicious food, great entertainment, and romantic vibes. The entertainment, Tito Gomez. You ever heard Tito?
I've not heard of Tito.
I mean, neither.
I worked with him at Security Federal.
Yeah.
He's amazing.
Okay.
Dude can sing.
All right.
Yeah. All right. Special 2 entrees and 1 appetizer for only $40. Don't miss out on the perfect night to celebrate love and enjoy amazing music and food. Locations 231 North Cape Drive. You can reserve your table now, 931-507-2867. That is 507 Bums. Hot take. I don't know if this one's going to be blazing hot. It might be like it might kind of it might be mild like the wings we had.
Shout
out Mud Buns, bringing some wings and pizza before on that. I think this is a mild take, but at the same time, I think it's okay. I don't think Danny and them is going to be the only basketball team at Warren County High School to be playing in the region. I think the Lady Pioneers making the region too. And again, I know that's a mild take for the fact that they're already positioned seating wise to do it, but it still matters.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I was going to ask on that too. You know, like, and for your team, for all the teams and all that, how big is having that extra 2 to 3 weeks of getting to scout, getting into that preparation, into that mode of every game match? You get into those. Hey, it's win or go home.
It's a different prep too.
Yeah, but how big is that for a young team to get those reps? Because I mean, we've talked about this a lot, even with your team. We're really looking at a 2-year window with this group of getting into these big games. How big is it these next 2 weeks and 3 weeks to be in these games over and over?
I think it's huge. These are the games that we work for. This is the games that we plan for at the beginning of the year. Every experience matters, whether it's good or bad. Mm-hmm. It's going to make you more experienced, right? I believe that our team is, we were there last year. A lot of those guys were getting to play in that game last year, because we were missing Dev and some guys getting some minutes. Deshaun came on real hard at the end of the year. Corbin was starting to step up. Isaiah was starting to step up. So they got a little taste to going to Brentwood last year. Now we're going to see if we can go somewhere and play well, right?
Yes.
You'd expect it to be a little bit better every year. When I was at DeKalb, the first year we went to the region was my second year there. We go over there. We were playing Gracie Dishman at Cumberland County. We just get absolutely boat raced, right? It just gets torched. The next year we go back. We play York or somebody in the next it was a 12-point game. Mm-hmm. So I could see it getting better, the kids learning how to deal with the environments and the pressure of playing in those games. The third year we beat Cumberland in OT. We beat Upperman, which was the defending state champs, on a last second bucket at the end of the game. End up going to lose to Macon, which was by far the best team in the state that year with Jalen Gregory and Keely Carter and Allison Shoulders and those guys, Abby Shoulders, and go down and play at McMinn Central at the Dome, right? Go on the road, and beat them. So every experience pays off for you. None of them is inconsequential. We're hoping that, the first year I was here, should have beat Walker Valley at home if we hit a couple free throws. Last year, I thought we matched up good with Brentwood and kept the game close for about 3 quarters, but they had the guy. Mm-hmm. We didn't, right? The Cochran kid, he averaged like 25 points a game, and he's at University of Chicago. He's 34 ACT, right? I think he went on like a 12-0 run by himself in the third quarter and pushed the game out. But, we want to be better this year than we were last year. So, and I think that catapults us for next year too, especially if we can go win that first game. People are like, well, you can make a run to the state. Well, yeah, hey, let's just win one, right? Let's just win one, and then figure out how to win the next one. So.
Coach, you had a similar situation too. I think Walker Valley was the first one y'all got in the region. Was there one before it, or did y'all kind of jump into that one?
No, I mean
what was the build-up?
First one that we ever went to is when we went to Walker Valley and won that basketball game. I think for any team, if you're going to go win region games, and if they've not done it before, they need to get off to a good start.
Yeah. Especially
if you're on the road. Danny's going to have the advantage. The way it looks, he's probably going to get a region home game. That's something I think we did. 3 years. We were undefeated at the Dalt when we got to play region games at home. That is huge because the place is going to be packed. Mm-hmm. But if you have to go on the road, and there's a chance that our girls team will have to go on the road, they've got to get off to a strong start because you're not only battling the other team, it's a region game, so their stands are going to be packed. You're battling a fan base. You're battling the travel that it takes to get there. I think Danny and them's got a little bit of advantage. I never, in which they're going to have to deal with it next year with the region change. I didn't like having to go to the Eastern time zone.
Yeah, different time zones.
Because you're leaving, it just
throws a lot of things
off travel wise. I think it's good since they're in the Nashville, with the Brentwoods, Ravenwoods, and those type teams. I think that helps more than being over there in the Chattanooga deal. But you've got to go. Danny and I talked about it a couple weeks ago. Sometimes in the first round of the region, there's times that you're going to be better than the other team. Okay, that can happen. You can have a 1-4 matchup. I think the times that we were ones. I think the first time we played Ooltewah, I thought Ooltewah was a team that we would really have to play really, really bad for Ooltewah to beat us. They had upset a team to get there. Mm-hmm. But once you get past the first one, when you get to the semis, there's no bad basketball teams. They're ones and twos. Yeah. So you're going to have to play a really solid basketball game, and that's when the region quarterfinals is a game where, hey, it's do or die, so to speak. And Danny and them's not had that do or die game. They're not going to have it because they've already got a first round bye in the district. Mm-hmm. But when you get in those do and die games, it gets a little tight. And that's why I say you got to get off to a good start. Being at home is
usually,
great.
Getting out of the gates well is important.
Absolutely.
Calms those nerves, people are not wondering, right? If you don't get off to a good start, well, man, I got to pick it up, or I'm hoping I have a good game. I need to. If you get out to a good start, you can see it. You can see it in their faces, the players' faces. Like, for our guys, they come out, get a dunk, knock down three. Oh, you guys are in trouble the rest of the night. It kind of feeds that momentum going for the rest of the game.
And if I am a underdog, and we always try to do this if we were an underdog, I remember going to Walker Valley. What you didn't want Walker Valley to do is get off to a good start, and then you're on that uphill climb. You want to get it to the last 4 minutes and it be a basketball game where kids say, hey, if we do the right thing, we're going to be in good shape. Things you've got to do in the region, everybody talks about, and it's the same game that you've played in November. But when you get there, you got to rebound the basketball. You got to make free throws. And you got to get stops on the defensive end when you need stops. If you can do those three things, you got a shot to win. Everybody says, well, you're going to say that every year. Yeah, Danny's saying that every year. You're not going and winning a region semi game, shooting 38% from the free throw line and getting out-rebounded by 15.
Yep.
And then you also need your best players to play well.
Yep.
It's that simple.
Let's hoping that Warren County and all their best players play well. We're going to have to wrap up the radio portion of this great Warren County Sports Authority part. And, guys, I want to thank Danny Fish for coming in. Yeah. We're going to be back on the OT here in about 5 minutes. So if you need to go get your popcorn, go get you some food. We're going to stay live on Facebook, but this is the end of the radio portion. Guys, I enjoyed this so much.
No doubt.
Thank y'all so much. We're on WBMC 97.7 FM. This is Jeff Simmons for Trevor Evans for Chris Sullins. Special thanks to Danny Fish on this. This is the Warren County Sports Authority radio show. Will be weekly coming up soon. We'll be back on the Facebook Live here in about 5 minutes. All right, folks, we are back and we are live in the OT portion of the Warren County Sports Authority show. You can tell it's OT now.
It's
We're back, laid back. You know, I'm not sitting here looking at time, trying to make sure that we get
just like Danny was the other night on Friday night at coffee and OT. You know, just laid back. You know what I mean? Just
get the ball to
just give it to Dale.
Like he'd been there before,
Yeah.
man. He
Elbow, Dale, out of the way.
He's just doing a little traffic and hey, get over there. You get over here. Dev's got it. We're in good shape
good.
here.
BC, get
The ashwagandha. Ashwagandha.
Hey, be
BC,
honest.
get the camera ready.
Yeah, be honest. Which one? There was one. He hit a big three.
Yeah.
But was that a no, yes 3, or were you okay with that shot? Because I think y'all were already up 2, and I think y'all had.
It's one.
Yeah,
It was,
okay.
It was 40, 45, 44
Yeah.
at the time, and that put us up 4.
Yeah. Because I think he had driven and gotten a pretty good look off
Yeah.
the baseline and maybe rimmed one out the route before.
Yeah.
I don't know if you were sitting there like, hey, we got the
Yeah,
ball back, we got a lead, we got no. Yeah, but I mean, it was
Hey.
he was feeling it. You could tell he got the shot he wanted.
Yeah, I've seen him make that shot a lot.
Yeah.
You know, he was contested. You know, if you've seen BC's video of it, the dagger is what he's called it. You know, and Brady Wright's right there on him. But you know, you don't tell him no, man. You know, I mean, Chris has coached a lot of good players. You got to have confidence in them, and they feed off of that confidence you have in them. And I was happy for our team.
Oh yeah.
You know, but no, it wasn't a oh no. It was like, yeah, put that on him.
Yeah.
You know, attaboy. That's why we spent all them hours in the gym. You know, it was in there at 9:00 this morning.
Yeah.
Right. So
100%. Yeah, it's interesting because I think sometimes we get into the point of we try to shy away from the fact that you have a father-son relationship
That's
with a
tough.
player, because it is, and you don't want it to be the focal point of your team, or even you don't want it to be a talking point, but you can't avoid that it's going to be a talking
it's
point.
like the elephant in the room.
But
Right?
at the same time, when you see that Brent Carden video, and it's not just Dev hits the shot, but then you get the zoom in, and your daughter's up there, she's going crazy. I mean, that had beyond you had the proud team coach moment. After the game, I know that was a real big thing, but I think that was a pretty special family moment too. When you got to see
I
that
wish
video.
I would get to enjoy those a little bit. You know, it's hard for me to enjoy.
It's hard to lean into it without
you
people
know,
thinking that that's all you're there
because
for.
before I was his coach, I was in the stands like, other dads and stuff. You know, now I look around, I'm like, I feel like Bobby Boucher is like, high five, high five. You know, nobody's high fiving. You know,
Slap hands.
slap hands, slap hands, slap hands. You know, but you know, it's hard. You know, it's harder on him than it is on me because he just wants to be one of the guys. You know, he just wants to be another team member. He just wants to play basketball. He just wants to be one of the guys. And sometimes he's still Coach Fish's son, right? And I don't think that he can ever get away from that. You know, maybe, you know, if he gets the opportunity to go play at the next level, he'll be able to relax. I think that puts an extra added stress on him. His shoulders are pretty broad, and you know, but I can't imagine. I can't put myself in that.
Yeah.
I don't know what he's going through, you know, and he's very to himself too. Now his mom probably knows a little bit more than I do, but you know, Devin and I don't. We have a different relationship than him and his mother have. So I love watching him play in the summertime. I tell people all the time, my favorite time to watch my son is during the summer, because I get to sit over there. I get to be his dad. He gets to play for another person. He gets to be in his element with his other coach. And then when he comes off, I'll go, man, I love watching you play. You know, we love to watch our kids play. What'd your coach say? You know, well, listen to him. You know, I'm your dad. This is summertime. I'm your dad. You know, I don't try to coach him after the games. I don't try to overstep my bounds there, you know, in the summer. I love watching him play, and it's like, hey, man, where we getting something to eat at, you know, or what we going to do next? What time we play again?
You know, as our resident NBA expert, I want to say Chris is on there. Yeah. He just found that out.
Yeah.
He just found that out. Would that and one that Dev got in OT count in the NBA?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Why would it not?
I thought, man, I now that was one of the few times where you were like, I'm not going to say anything to the official on that, but
You thought it was a wonderful call.
yeah,
You know
it's
what I
true.
mean? Yeah, great
I,
job.
the one that I heard was I heard a couple different times. Oh, that changed the whole game. I'm like, it added 1 point because Dev going to the free throw line regardless.
two.
Yeah, I was like, he's going to be 2 points. It added 1 point. I was like, Dev. I was like, at that point, he was shooting fire out of his backside there. He was going to make them free throws.
So that 1 point it added was the reason they missed 2-point blank layups to win it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't mean that in a negative.
Yeah,
way,
it's
but-
just you
I
can't.
mean-
you start pointing at that, and you're like, hey, you had a chance to put this game away. A long time
Exactly,
ago.
and hey, Danny and I's both been there, and sometimes just the way the ball bounces.
Oh,
That
yeah.
being said, I'll guarantee you that when Coach Fish and all those guys are on the sidelines, when that ball didn't go down, you're it's a deep breath,
Oh, yeah.
and you got life.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Because that life was almost sucked out of you. Honestly,
That
when
ball
the
hung.
first layup was missed, that didn't surprise me. The tip being missed was point blank.
Yeah.
It not just that; it seemed like it hung up there.
yeah.
Slow motion.
Yes.
I think it
forever.
touched every part of the rim.
Except the net.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
like if Brent Carton had the video on there, even in the live video, you'd be like, "Did Brent slow this down?
And-
Was he?" It's like this cinematic version of this because this seems like that ball's up there for 10 seconds.
And we've all been there. I don't think there's any doubt that when you're coming in that game, and we've talked about it, the Patch is a tough place to play. But Warren County's probably the favorite.
Yeah.
I mean, we look at those two teams on paper. So anytime you're the underdog, you don't really get 3 to 4 to 5 chances to beat the best team. I mean, how many times we see it in football when you're the underdog, you score on that last drive. Are you going for 2 or
Yeah.
You know? So I think that when I was watching that and that didn't go down, I thought I'm not going to say Coffee County missed their opportunity, but it was a huge opportunity that they didn't take advantage of. And then the best team, the best team just kind of took over in overtime.
That's what I was going to say. When that shot didn't go down, I'm not going to say it. Katie barred the door because the game they still had to go into overtime. Y'all still had to close it out. But like you said, Coach, that was their opportunity.
their opportunity.
And once you guys got new life, I feel like Dev kind of put the team on his back and said, "Hey, we ain't going home losers tonight." So
it's a gut punch
Yeah.
right there. If
Yeah.
you're Coffee, it's a gut punch because you've probably played your best game. You've had some people probably play a little bit over what is expected of them, and then you're like you said, you want to be there the last 2 minutes, right? In games like that, and you have a chance. And for me, you don't want to know what I said on the sideline when I was watching it.
Where's that B button?
Yeah, right. But like you said, I was like, oh my God, and then it fell off, and I was just like, okay, boys, here we go.
yeah,
Here we go.
And I feel like
that was our chance right there. It's our chance.
Yeah, on the Coffee County side, y'all could jump in and get right into coaching of what you're going to do. They had to deal with, hey, it's okay.
Yeah.
And that's tough to overcome.
Yeah, it
And
is.
Trev's exactly right because as a player, and we talk about it every time. Saban's the guy talk. You play the next possession. It's always about the next possession, but that lingers a little bit.
Yeah.
It
As
does.
a coach, it's tough on us because it's a linger. Like, hey, we had that opportunity and didn't make the most of it. And you could tell the first 2 or 3 minutes in
Yeah.
overtime. I didn't think Coffee was mentally.
They weren't
mentally
yeah.
there the way they were in the first 4 quarters. In my opinion.
And that can go either way.
Absolutely.
That can go either way. We've seen it probably where, oh, okay, so what? We're going to go in and they say they come out, they knock down a 3, they get a stop, they knock down. Hey, it's different now,
Yeah.
right?
I think that you're exactly right in this aspect. I think if that happens to that type of basketball team right there, that's probably the underdog. It doesn't happen. The first 2 or 3 possessions are huge. And when they
100%.
didn't get a lot the first 2 or
Right.
3 possessions, that's when the lingering effect kind of takes over. And
Did we
kinda,
miss our chance?
Did you miss your opportunity?
Yeah, it's like, man, what if, and then
'Cause, I mean,
what can be still, but if you start thinking about what if, it's over.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, we always look at coaches and we look at players on the floor. You can see emotions in people's face. When we had pushed it up to 5 or 6 right there, when we're sending Devin to the free throw line at the last couple of minutes, and I'm like, I look at some of those guys and they're just like,
They know.
The dejection has set in.
Yeah, they know.
It's set in now. It may not have been there the first 2 minutes of that game in the overtime, but it kind of set in right there. And as a coach, being in that situation of coaching a team that's been in that before, boy, it's tough. It's tough as a coach because you can't say anything to them after the game, but, hey, I love you. Thank you. You did everything you could do to win that game. Probably should have won the game. Probably outplayed us for most of the game. I'm proud of you. I love you. That shows you what we have the potential to be, and next time we get an opportunity to see them, let's go give it to them, So, and I'm sure Andrew was saying the same thing, to be honest with you.
Oh yeah, I mean, like I said, I think that's the thing that sometimes, and I don't even think it's lost on these communities because of what happened out of that game and the charities and the raise and the Drink for Weave and the special games. $25,000 between the two, big time. It's a bitter rivalry, and they want to beat each other. But I think it's also built in some respect factor of the fact that they know. It's like Coach just said. That was a battle, and they know that Coffee County, you got their best punch. I think they know that y'all got in those last 4 minutes, they probably got the best of what y'all could give them, and that's kind of where it differentiated. But I think there was a lot of respect factor in that. But it's also simmering rivalry, especially when you're sitting there thinking, man, we had that's. I mean, you have to be sitting over there. It might not. Coffee County was in the state 3 years ago.
Yeah.
3 years ago. So we would say that this is probably not their best basketball team. But I think Andrew's over there saying, "Hey, this is one of Warren County's best basketball teams. They've been district champs for the last 3 or 4 years, but they hadn't had a 14 game winning streak like this before. This might be one of their best teams. And if we can go and put a feather in our cap of we beat their best team, even when we might not have been at our best." And then all of a sudden you have that and run it. I mean, it's tough. It can send you spiraling, but it seems like they did bounce back because I think they put a hurting on Lincoln County.
Yeah, like 15 last night.
Yeah,
beat them by 15 at Lincoln.
Yeah.
So and Andrew, me and Andrew, we talk. Me and Chris, we've coached so long that coaching used to be a fraternity, right?
Yeah.
I don't think it's like that as much anymore. But Andrew and I still are old school guys, and it's just like, we were talking. He's like, we've been so hurt, some knocked up, during the summer, you're supposed to get that base, had a couple kids out. And, every time that we seem to get rolling, we'll get off track. And, and I think they've been playing a lot better here. Since they played us at home, they've been playing tremendously amount of better.
Yeah, it's funny you say that with the coaching fraternity thing because I really thought. I mean, I've been on the sidelines for the last 3 years now, and I really thought that it's taken until this year that I was like, I don't know why I can't. Like, I like having conversations going through, and it did help this year. Like when we go now, we scheduled Van Buren County this year, so I got a chance to go talk to Tyler Sapp, and we already had a good relationship. But I've been trying to bring some of that back because so I know that our teams are going to battle and stuff like that. But Andrew knows his kids the best.
Yeah.
You know him probably the second best of any because you play him all the time. So you're like, hey, well, how's Caden Trail do? How did he do? What's going on with this guy? Stuff like that. We've been doing the same. The one that I've actually had the pleasure of getting to run into a lot, and Sullins might know this name is Robbie France. Yep. Is the head, a guy from Warren County that's the head coach down at Riverside Christian Academy, and we've been talking all year. And we were going into the state quarterfinals. We played last night at home. And I get a message from Robbie about an hour before the game. He said, "Hey man, go represent the South. Let's go get us a championship." So I mean, it is nice when you have that relationship with the coaches in your district and stuff like that. And then of course, when we play them next year, I'm sure we're going to be over there saying, "Hey, good job. Now let's beat each other."
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean,
I think that's fun.
It's kind of fun. I mean, Sullins, you're best friends.
Been around. How many times did you not have fun coaching against Eric Mitchell?
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
And you're right, too. And I've always had this. I've had this. I thought and this may come across the wrong way. This is just my personal opinion. I thought boys coaches a lot of times had a lot better relationship with other boys coaches than I saw on the girls' side. I mean that with all due respect. I thought that there was always some times that the girls' side, there was almost like there was animosity. I didn't have a lot of animosity against the guys that we coached against. It's like we got along pretty well. Yeah. We communicated. The whole sharing of films and how this stuff is done now has brought it closer together. But I'm like Danny, I don't hear that as much in the last couple of years as far as coaches sharing. When I mean sharing, coach is on the phone till 12 o'clock at night after a basketball game. You're just talking. You're talking about your basketball teams, and you're getting information from other teams. I do think that is something that's kind of getting lost. A lot of that has to do with you've got so much coaching turnover that goes on now, where a lot of coaches – when you've been there somewhere for 5, 6, 7 years, and Danny's been in this area for so long, everybody knows who he is and they know what he's about. They're bouncing ideas off him. He's bouncing ideas off other guys. That is something that's a real fun part of what goes on when you're a coach. Having a good staff that you're able to – staffs that get along with each other means a lot too. He's got a great staff that knows a lot of people in the area. But I do agree with him. You don't hear as much about that the last couple of years as I think that when I was brought in, I didn't realize how well coaches got along, and it was very not just with Coach Mitchell, Coach Foster up at Cumberland, Joe Pat. Even though he's on the girls' side, Joe Pat was always been very personal. You could talk to him. Danny was a guy when he was at the Cab. You just had good relationships. Linus, all these guys in this area, it seemed – here's what I liked. When they were having success, you were rooting for them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, I'll guarantee you in this district, if Danny – and I think most people would say this team most people would say that Danny's basketball team in this district probably has as good a chance as any to go as far as a region. You'll get region coaches that are trying to help you out, or district coaches are trying to help you against that region. That's a positive thing. I think it's something that's lost on a lot of people because we're all kind of in this together because we're all kind of selling the same stuff. What I mean, you're trying to make better young men, young women out of them. Yeah. You're all trying to win basketball games, but you're trying to make a positive influence on those kids. I know that's something that Danny does every day, and I know it's guys that I went against were doing. I know Eric Mitchell, he's trying to make positive influences on guys.
100%. Now, let's get the reverse angle on this because there's one person on this table that is Warren County first, Warren County only when it comes like that. He's not trying to make friends on the sidelines or anything like that. Trev. I mean, have you softened on that stance at all? Because I'm telling you, man, I don't even know. I mean, you've embraced Danny.
Yeah. At first, I might have been a little skeptical. Sorry.
But hey, can we readjust that Mudbones Hot Wings hot take?
Ooh.
Skepticism of Danny Fish, two-time district champion.
You keep talking like that, you're going to be trying to avoid disaster.
Hey, he keeps talking about that media press credentials going to get revoked.
He's got to pay.
I don't see Trevor. In fact, your name was on here and it's marked down.
No, Coach, you've done a wonderful job. But back to what you were asking, I probably laxed on that a little bit. I'd say me and Coach Mitchell, we speak if we see each other. So I would consider Coach Mitchell a buddy. I don't know if he'd say the same for me, but no, I like you said, I think it's a fraternity and teams in this area. Once you get knocked out or whatever, you want to see the other teams do well. Maybe not rooting for them, but hey, if a coach calls and has a question, or hey, what did y'all do against this guy or that guy, or what would you do? Maybe you help them out. Maybe depending on who it is.
Well, I think seeing it from just a little bit of a younger angle than even though I'm barely younger than these two guys are here, but young and the coach. I think the thing that's being lost about when you talk about the building of those relationships or not having that fraternity is, I don't know, maybe I'm going to sound like an old boomer right now. There's too many people that think they already know everything, so they don't have to ask any questions about everything. True. And whereas I, as and being in the last 3 years, I want to ask everybody everything. I mean, we run inbounds plays that Danny showed me. We run our 1-3-1 buster is kind of the thing that y'all were running against Sparta and stuff like that. I mean, I ran into Caps at a AAU tournament in Knoxville. I don't even think he knew who I was. He just happened to pop down beside me. I knew exactly who it was. I was like, "Hey, man, and he kind of came in this like, "Hey, who are you?" I was like, "Oh, man, I'm the media guy in Enville. I've ran into you before," and we started striking out a conversation. But just asking him some questions about, "Hey, how y'all doing? Where y'all's kids at?" Stuff like that. I think that's the thing that's getting lost is the more people that get into this at a younger age just think, "Oh, well, I know this. I'll figure it out." It's like, hey. It's never a bad idea to ask some people about how the things that are going through and what they've went through and how they got to where they were at because you're probably going to have to go through it at some point. I mean, nobody's stepping in at 20. Yeah, I mean, like maybe the Shelbyville girls coach that's in there who seems like I think she's in her early 20s and experiencing a lot of success very quickly. But for the most part, you're going to have to go through it. So you might want to have some people to lean on in those situations.
And another thing that Danny brought up is, you know the good ones. And what I mean is, Andrew Taylor's a good guy.
Yep.
He's a positive guy. He does it the right way. Danny knows that. You know the guys. Let's be honest. We've all been in this profession. Not going to name any names. You know who the flat-out jerks are. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, we know. I don't mean that. Hey, and there's probably going to be people that's going to be chiming in on Facebook. Yes, Sullins was one of those jerks. He know, but
Hey,
I mean,
if you are, send it on Facebook right now.
But you know, when you get into this, you know Kevin Bray is an old school guy that knows what he's doing. So you need to listen to what he's saying.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, and that's not when we say the coaching fraternity. I don't think that Danny and I are on the phone late one night after a basketball game talking about how that coach is a jerk.
No.
What you're saying, what you're not talking about is that coach, because he's not involved in it. Those are the type guys that they kind of put themselves on an island. Anytime that you're a coach and you're putting yourself on an island, I think that is a bad thing to do in this gig.
Oh, yeah.
You want a good rapport with the guys that you're dealing with. You talked about it. Tyler Salp up there and Dustin Sullivan on top of the mountain. Those are two
Good
great.
guys, man.
They're good guys.
Yeah.
You can talk to them. They know they can call. We know the good ones, and then we know some that I wouldn't if they was on fire.
Yeah.
Let's just be honest.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Do you think that's changed because of media, though? I mean, like scouting and stuff. I mean, Kendall Wallace, he's one of my best friends. He's a head coach at LaGrange.
Mm-hmm.
I said, I used to coach at college, recruit. Everything was by phone, mail,
Yep.
email, right? That was right when they put the stuff out, like you can only text a kid once a week or something. It counts as a conversation. He's like, man, I recruit from Twitter. He said, I find players send me stuff. It has all their information on there. It has all their highlights on there. It has this. It has that. I mean, you can go to all these different, like Prep Hoops Tennessee, man. If you've went to their clinic, they have an evaluation on you on that site. You can go there. As Trevor Evans can't dribble his left hand. Needs to
Can't
get
dribble my
better.
right.
That was a good evaluation.
Hey, I can go. No, I can go left. I ain't going right.
30 player.
Yeah. He's 30-30 guy.
You know,
No
you
doubt.
understand what I'm
No,
saying,
yeah,
what
yeah.
I'm getting at. You know, is that because everything's just so more
Yeah.
widely available?
I think
so.
I don't think there's any doubt. You've got so much more information that's at your fingertips, so you'd probably just don't have to pick up the phone and call a coach and those type
But
of
I
things.
still like
still
doing
wanna
that.
do that.
I still like
Yes,
doing that
yes.
though. I mean, we've had conversations. I've had conversations. I still like talking about it, right? That's what's fun for me is that I think it's, if Chris is further in the postseason and we played a guy and he picks up the phone to call me because he said that we played this team good and we played, I feel that's a great
Respect.
honor.
Yeah,
That's a
respect.
great honor,
Yeah.
you know.
How'd y'all do this? Because we might not be able to.
So but I have I've been around, and it's just like, man, why you be like that? Why?
You probably don't want to be in a situation where the other fan base is chanting, shake his hand after the game.
Oh,
You don't want to be in that. You don't want to be in that
Dude,
situation. You don't want to be that guy.
some of the best ones I've ever been in was when I was in 8AA, right?
Mm-hmm.
You had Leslie Riddle, you had Dana McWilliams, you had Larry White, and then you had Dodgen in there, and you had myself in there. I wasn't nothing but gasoline. I wasn't nothing but gasoline in
He
that
fired
room.
him up.
I would, hey Larry, because there was a really fierce battle there between, Larry and Dana, Macon and Upperman. And man, I would just sit back and watch the fireworks and just be like, well, I voted her down on my start. So, but it was interesting. Interesting dynamics between coaches. Like we'll have our coaches meeting on Friday over there. There's some interesting dynamics in the room over there with our district coaches. More so on the girls' side than on the guys' side.
I could see that.
The guys' side is like, hey, we're all eating at the same table, and
Yeah.
we're just hanging out, and then you look around the room, and it's like trying to find Easter eggs. They're just kind of scattered out.
They're just
everywhere.
magnets.
And I'm just kind of, y'all have a good day, but it's fun sometimes, and then it's not so fun other times.
Well, let's see if he's got any more of that gasoline to pour on here, because I think it's time.
Yeah, I think
It's time for the first ever
live.
Oh, my
Sutherland's
goodness.
Rant of the
Nervous?
Week.
No, we don't get. Hey,
Trev,
hey,
can we get a timer ready, Trev?
We can.
Sutherland's Rant of the Week, sponsored by Former Logistics, which is a nationwide brokerage firm specializing in produce and grocery products. We haul lumber loads out of the area. That's Former Logistics, not myself. I'm not picking up anything. I'm lazy like that. Yeah, I know.
Hey,
Go
you
ahead and
pick-
say it.
you
Can you even drive a truck with a hitch?
Hey,
Of course not.
I mean,
Can you back a trailer?
Nope.
No, you can't back a
We're going to
truck.
go there again. We don't have to go
back
there
a
again.
truck.
Yeah, but hey, Former Logistics, you can reach our contact there, Jeff Lee, at his number 808-0802. It's been his side job for the last 29 years. The Former Logistics, first live Sutherland's Around the Week. We have no idea where it's going. Have no idea where it's going to where we can end up here. I'm putting over under at 6.5 minutes. Let's go ahead and just train the camera right here on
Right here.
Sutherland's. Just put it right there.
I'm gonna-
We're going to see how quickly that he goes in here and goes crazy.
This may be the first time I've ever done it. I'm gonna take the under on.
You're taking the under?
Yeah, I don't
6.5?
know.
smart move.
Yeah,
man.
I don't-
Smart move.
What's the topic?
That's
I don't know.
Nobody
I have no-
knows.
we
I'm
never
not even
know.
with the topic. The topic's going to be a little bit with this guy next to me right here, as far as the athletes in this community right now. When it comes to the wrestling team, the girls' basketball team, the boys' basketball team, it's time. This postseason, hey, your regular season's over. Come Friday, it's time to step it up. It's that simple. You get one, and I know people are going to say, well, a lot of them are juniors. You got some sophomores, they're young. You only get one opportunity in 2025. You got to make the most of that opportunity. Danny knows, and all our guys around this table know because they've been in this situation. You have to step up your game right now. You got to lock in ways you've not locked in before. You have got to prepare in ways you've not prepared before. You've got to be better in that locker room than you ever have been before. We've been around teams that have done this. Danny's been around teams that have done it. And he's also been around teams that had these opportunities and didn't make the most of that opportunity for whatever reason. Lock-in is one. We used to talk about that WC that most people we put on. It's interlocking. There can't be any outliers right now. You can't listen to the noise. No matter where that noise is coming from. The only noise you need to be listening to is coaches that are doing what's best for you and players that are on the same page. That's the noise. In the next couple of weeks, got a lot of athletes in this community that have a chance to do something very special. The stands are going to be packed wanting this to happen, but the players are the ones that can make this happen. Prepare in ways that you haven't prepared. I'm telling you, it means a lot. And I think Danny will agree. A lot of this will have very little to do with physical. It won't be the physical. It'll be the mental, the emotional. And you're talking to a guy right here that's going to that's been emotional before. Somehow, some way, you got to be able to control those emotions and mentally be on the same page for that one goal. Because we've been around it. When it's good, it's great. And there's memories that last forever. I'm also afraid at times that they don't understand this. Good teams are led by usually good coaches. Great teams are led by guys in that locker room that says, that's the direction we want to go together. I'm excited about this. Now, as a wrestling program, a lot of that has to do with individual preparation. Mm-hmm. Don't take no for an answer. And fight till you can't fight no more. Fight till you can't fight no more. And we used to have a saying, and I know Danny's got mottos and those type things. Ours was, it takes what it takes. And I don't know what it'll take, but whatever it takes, that's what it takes. Get the dang,
We're in OT.
Oh,
Yeah, you
get the damn job done.
Yeah.
Get it done. Do your job, whatever that job is. And whatever it takes, let's get it done because we want the best for Warren County Athletics in the next couple of weeks. And we say it every year. One reason I got out, this is if somebody could tell me I could only coach for about 2 months, I'd be all in. Danny and them's been doing this probably for almost 11 and a half months. You're prepared for this time. Smile, have fun with it, and is it GATA?
That's it.
Yeah.
GATA.
Yeah, absolutely.
And make that other coach be a waiter. You know what waiters are, don't you, Trev?
Let them know, Coach.
Hey, you know what a waiter is? A waiter is a coach on the sideline. Can't wait for it to be over. That's what you want to do to other coaches right now.
Dang,
That's all I got.
Fire me up, Coach. Hey, that's good right there.
I'll
man.
tell you, man. I started looking at Trev over there, and I said,
Yeah.
Trev looks like he's ready to suit
Yeah,
up.
no,
Yeah.
fire me up. No, Coach.
Did we hit the over/under? Where were we at?
4 minutes 6 seconds.
Yeah,
I told you.
You can get it done. Hey,
Yeah.
Danny's been in the locker room with all those coaches that can't quit. You know, what we try to do, we used to do this all the time, Trev. Hey, I want to get, as soon as the ball game's over, let's get them out.
Yeah.
We don't need to talk for 15,
No.
20 minutes. They know.
Yeah.
So, what you got, Trev?
No, I just wanted to add to that, Coach. And hey, if any athletes, pioneers, other schools, whatever, why he's saying lock in, prepare, enjoy it. There's some guys there over the next couple of weeks, their careers are going to end, and you got to go be in the real world, whether that's college, work. Man, freaking enjoy it. There's nothing better than suiting up for your hometown, going and playing with the brotherhood or whatever your team is, man. Heck, today at work, me and Adam were sitting there talking about old war stories, and just freaking enjoy it and make the most of it. Because I mean, once it's gone, you can coach and you can do those kind of things, but you're not getting it back in the form of putting on that uniform again.
Another thing I'll add about that is when he talks about when it's over, you're going to have some young men, young ladies that are going to go play at the next level in this community. Mm-hmm. High school sports right now is the purest form of sports that's on the market. It's that simple. College athletics has taken a turn. I'm not going to say better or worse, but it's not as pure as it used to be. So enjoy this. Enjoy the purity that you have. Hey, and we're rooting for you, Coach Fish.
No doubt.
And if it goes wrong, remember, we're going to blame you. I know how it works.
Hey, players win them, coaches lose them, right?
That's right.
When you can find a group that understands the gravity of what you're talking about, it's a different team, right? Hopefully we do, but I always feel like a team like we have is kind of dangerous, and the fact is that we got next year, right?
Yeah.
Hey, man, there ain't no guarantees.
Yes.
There's no guarantees whatsoever. There's no guarantee that you're going to be able to make it injury-free. We've been able to do that this year. We've been able to be not sick, injury-free for the most part. I mean, we've had some tweaks here and there with some ankles or something.
And then losing Templeton and stuff.
But, we're talking about, multiple guys.
Yeah.
Right? So we've stayed fairly healthy throughout the entire season. But I don't understand that people don't understand the gravity of things until they're gone, right? We still do it as adults. The time that, we could have picked up the phone and answered that phone call, right, or something in that form of aspect. But sports, like you said, this is the last time for some people that you get a chance to rep your city, right? We always will, but not in front of the stage and not on the stage that you're at, and you'll be pulling for everybody else. And I think that's the thing I like about our fans. Heck, if we're winning, they are too, right? That's what I like about being in a small town because, we went to Siegel last night. Shoot, we had more fans in the gym than they did,
I've seen that before.
And I like that about here. Everybody's living their dream through you at that point. We've had a lot of people, reach out and say that they really enjoy watching our teams play. They play so hard and good boys and this, that, and the other. But you can just feel that that's a part of them too. Yeah. And you're playing for so much more than just yourself. And the teams that can step outside of themselves are the teams that figure it out, I think.
No doubt.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're saying that with Warren County. We're starting to see that the same with us at Boyd over there
yeah.
at the same stuff. We're every time we go on the road, every time that we played a neutral site game on Saturday for the championship, and I mean I think the crowd was pretty much to our point it was on our side, and I thought it was just huge because I was like, this is just a byproduct of Warren County fandom. I mean, Warren County likes Warren County. Warren County.
I mean, in with Boyd, you see that all the way down the line.
Oh yeah,
right? I've watched elementary games. We were at the county tournament the other night. I mean, the high school Boyd players and parents are coming to watch the younger kids play, and then vice versa. Correct?
100%.
It shows a good sense of community.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good thing for Warren County.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, hey, we're me and Coach Fish were really relaxed. Came in here. I mean, we hadn't really talked about anything that happened last night, but when we came off the week, we just have great weekends, man.
Yeah.
Fish and them go to Manchester. They win them a district championship. We won on Saturday. We go up to Gallatin, Welch College. We win us a district championship. We just had a great weekend, man. I don't know. Trev gets a Super Bowl on Sunday night.
me, man.
Yeah. Sons, what'd y'all win? What'd you win this weekend? Oh, actually, you know what?
Tell me what I won. I mean, I don't. Hey, here's what I want. I'm a member of the Brotherhood. I got a shirt. I won a district.
Yeah, you won a district. I don't know. I mean, the duel. You might have been cooking on the old duel on the phone this weekend.
Oh, the fan duel.
Yeah, you might have been
I had a
cooking.
pretty good week.
We don't have to get into numbers or anything.
And then, but this last night was not a good night.
Yeah,
The Vols, man. Woo!
yeah, basketball.
Got whipped by the Cats again.
I got yelled at last night.
I will say a couple weeks ago that when our Vols returned the favor to Fish's Gators over there, I felt pretty good about that. You know what I'm saying?
That's pitiful.
Yeah.
I mean, when I woke up that morning, I'm like, oh, okay, no Ziegler. Hey, man, it's going to be about 20 points right here. And to hold Florida to, 44 in that game or something like that?
Yeah, Florida came back and then ended up getting they got their second #1 win of the year, going and beating Auburn, so that was a pretty good day. Everything like that.
But other than that, Danny and those guys, they struggled a little bit last night. But hey, you stepped out of district competition. I think they'll lock back in. They'll be fine.
Last night, we talked a little bit about, hey, man, you can't go 10 minutes without a field goal. We went through the whole first quarter. I think it was like 6:30, 6:40. Before we hit our first field goal, and that's off of offensive rebound. We're -5 the rest of the game. But we didn't do a good job of matching Siegel's intensity. That's something that we've struggled with, I think, the past 2 weeks. We have a bullseye. None of these kids have ever played with a bullseye on their back. They don't know how to do that. You have to learn how to do that, right? Yeah. And we try to tell them and prepare them. Between, Gooby and between Brent, we have a lot of guys that have coached in a lot of games, been around a lot of different areas, and we didn't handle that very well last night. But the guys finished well. They didn't stop playing. We seen some big minutes from Kanan Paris last night, which was very reassuring. Of his projection and getting better. Connor Williams was a star last night.
See Willie
at half, leading scorer.
Yeah, played really well.
Which is a great night for C. Willie.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sometimes that might be a concern if you're Warren County, but that's a great night for C. Willie.
I think Danny brought up something that I would invite that those guys really need to pay attention to going forward. Last night was kind of there was a lot of, when you say recipe for disaster, I don't know if that's the right choice of words, but it's Siegel's senior night.
Yeah.
So a team, very rarely do you see a team that doesn't get up for their own senior.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're going to get their best punch, so to speak. I would say they had just come off a huge win at Coffee. And when somebody says, what do you mean by huge? That's the biggest rivalry of the year. You went to their place, you've won a basketball game. There's always – I hate when people say natural letdown, but there's something to that. There's a hangover, so to speak. It's been announced that they're going to be out of school.
Yeah.
So those things come into play. There was just a lot of elements there that I was concerned with. And like Danny said, when you go the first quarter and you hadn't scored, we draw a lot of stuff up on those boards.
You ain't
very
drawing
few
that up.
times do you say, you know what, I think if we don't score the first quarter, we'll be okay. You know what I mean? I don't think that probably was
Yeah, I
written on
doubt
the
it.
whiteboard.
Says
last
no
night.
one ever, right? Says no one ever.
It's funny you said that because we had the same thing, but we came. Our championship game was on Saturday, and then we check in on Tuesday. We're playing a team. Everybody's kind of, y'all are going to beat them, stuff like that. All of a sudden, we look up. It's 7-6. We're losing at the end of the first quarter, and all of us are sitting there like, "What is going on?"
Yeah.
Now, granted, we got to snap out of it and outscore the team 33-2 in the second quarter. So we got rolled.
Hey, is that one of those loft teams?
This guy, man.
That's pretty good
Lack
response.
of freaking talent. Did y'all play a loft team?
We played like the loft team in the first quarter. Yeah, it was fun. Now I did get yelled at
The
the end
loft.
of the game.
The
That was
loft.
found.
The loft got found.
Lost and found. Yeah, no, I did get yelled at. I was actually I was going to ask that for my question. So let's go ahead and get into our final segment of the night.
Finally.
Which is,
Hey, it means we're not going to be here till midnight. Danny's wife's going to be a little
Be
upset.
happy.
She thought he was
She's
going to be here.
What's John Pryor say? He says, "Turn the porch light on. I'm coming home."
well, the thing is, she can be following online
Yeah,
right
she
now.
can.
She's
Yeah,
probably
exactly,
watching, too.
exactly.
She's going to
Nicole-
know. It's like,
Nicole.
hey, you're done now.
She said, "I got you. I'm watching."
Yeah, we're going to do the Ben Lomond Connect random rapid questions. Get your highest internet speeds available in Warren County for your home or business, plus a Wi-Fi 6 router, a convenient app, and in-depth local 24/7 customer service for right at $2 a day because Ben Lomond Connect's delivering internet
At the speed of life.
at the speed of life. Guys, what's your best story about an opposing coach kind of coming at you? Because that happened to me last night, or happened to us, Tim and I. We ended up, as I said, this game was 7-6 at the end of the first quarter. Then it was 39-9 at halftime. We ended up scoring 60 points in the second and third quarter combined. And the coach did not take too kindly to the fact that we had starters in the third quarter. And then we had to explain to the said coach that we have 5 high school kids suited up, and the 4 girls that were sitting on the bench were 8th graders who had played in the county basketball tournament the night before and who will be playing in the county basketball tournament this Saturday. So if we make the championship game in TSIA, we might be showing up with 5. We might get a 6th back because we did have a girl sick. But we were trying to tell the ladies, like, we only have 5 kids. This is our team. So we got yelled at because they were like, well, y'all are just running the score up on us. I was like, yeah, I don't know. I think Get Better finally got
Get
said.
Better?
Got
That's
said
a
there.
good
No, that came from
Oh,
us.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. yeah.
when they were like, oh, you got to do this. And I was like, I don't know. Y'all got to get better, I guess is the question right here. But what's been your first? Because I know you had the East Hamilton game at home where I don't know if y'all ever had words after the game.
I don't think he was mad at
but,
us.
But at one
Oh, he was mad at us.
Oh,
absolutely.
Him and Sullins almost had. They were on the ends of the.
Oh,
score.
that's right.
Well, the coach-
I was
let-
thinking
let's-
about the parent.
Let's be honest now. I mean, the East Hamilton deal, I mean, we've talked about that, but a lot of people don't know some of the backstory to that. First of all, that was COVID.
Yes.
So we couldn't shake hands, which was a great thing for me. Because East Hamilton's coach was about 6'5".
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he was a big dude.
About 240. He's built like Zeus. His staff looked like a
Similar.
WWE tag team champion. So I looked over at Cameron Bond and Stephen, and I thought Adam could take care of himself, but I'm thinking we're going to get killed if it comes to this. Okay? Anytime that there's a timeout and SROs are in an opposing team's huddle, that's probably not a good thing. So some crowd had got into it. I had motioned down one quality thing about being at home. Danny knows this. East Hamilton wasn't going to travel well, so they didn't have a lot of fan support. So our fans were kind of on officials, and I was kind of telling an official he's out of the box. Now me telling another official that a coach is out of the box.
It's a pot calling
Yeah,
the
it's
kettle
got
black.
kettle.
ain't
Yeah,
it?
I understand. And then I kind of motioned down, and he there was something happening. I maybe gave him the clap, like, hey, nice job there. You know, I was trying to, because be honest, we were trying to get into
find
his
something.
head
Yeah, gotta
a
find
little
something.
bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, you know, we've now went 14 guys deep on a team that played 7, you know what I mean? Foul trouble. And you know, hey, this is it. He was not happy. Here's the reason I know he wasn't happy, because he called Eric, Coach Mitchell, after the game and said, if I ever see that guy, I'm going to kill him. Like, I don't like him. He is, and you can fill in the blank with 4-letter words. He threw a lot of them at me. But that being said, hey, he had a wonderful basketball team, and I'm glad that their night ended that night.
Yeah,
So,
it's-
and I've never went to East Hamilton and watched a game ever again.
Oh,
so,
no,
that was interesting.
You want to go watch Baird play?
Not me. I'll never go. If Danny's playing the state finals against East Hamilton, I'll have to tune in outside or something.
He'll have to wear disguise or
Absolutely.
something.
Was that the worst one though, or do you have any other ones?
That was you always in the.
You get
I
some
think that-
handshakes
I
where
think-
it's like, hey, it's
Yeah,
it's, you know.
Danny would agree with this. Some of my worst ones when I coached at middle school. Some of those, there were some middle school coaches that we had some good middle school teams back then with Coach Wood and some of those guys.
Yeah.
I don't think me and you get a handshake from the middle school coaches right
No,
now.
I don't think that, no, probably not. Probably not. I don't know what Christmas card list. But anyway, but I think I think I had a pretty good relationship with a lot of coaches. I'll tell you a good one, and then I'll turn it over to Danny. And I love Bobby McWilliams. Does a great job at Upperman. He's as well respected, and if you want to see a kid that's got some potential, go watch the Cobb kid. The kid can flat out play. Ty Cobb can flat out play. But Bobby, my first year at Warren County, Danny was doing. We were trying to build they hadn't had a winning season in over 2 decades. They hadn't won a region game in 30-something years. It wasn't like we rolled in. Danny and them roll in now, and let's be real. Warren County's very well respected in boys basketball right
respect.
now.
Yeah.
It took a while to build, but it has been built. We walk in and we're going to play a Hall of Fame game down at Community, and we're playing Upperman. Well, I've just got in this gig. I don't really know how well respected Bobby is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Bobby's pretty well respected. Mm-hmm. I'm acting a fool. Now, Warren County should not be in a game our first year against Upperman 3 games in. Upperman's really a good – and I think we get beat by 3 or 4. But I had a coach that did me a solid, and Danny will know who it is. It's Linus Martin was at DeKalb. And I knew Linus because when I coached at Boyd, we played DeKalb. Mm-hmm. Linus gave me the most detailed scouting report I ever had for a game 3 games in. So I knew everything Bobby and those guys were going to do. He would call Kansas. I'd call Kansas. Defensively, we didn't guard guys. We said, hey, just stand right here. Here's where he's coming. 3 games in, that's not supposed to happen.
No.
Bobby's getting – you can tell. And then he's seeing my antics, and he's like, who in the heck is this idiot? That being said, we got a great relationship now. We still talk every time I get a chance to. But that was one that, looking back, I don't know if I gave him the amount of respect he probably needed. But I also thought we kind of told our kids right then we were not going to bow down for anybody. Mm-hmm. We wanted to get to that level. Those were 2 that I'll remember.
Do you have every interested handshake line or?
I'm really laid back. I mean, I guess probably when I was coaching in college, you know, because everybody's peeing contest there. You're fighting for the same amount of players and you're recruiting the same kids in the area. If I had a bad handshake with somebody, that I probably can't remember it. I've had some firm handshakes, some things that I didn't like. Actually, 2 years ago, last year when we lost at DeKalb, right? I know Joey. I've known him my entire life. Cody coached Devin in middle school. I've known Cody my entire life too. Great job. Didn't appreciate the timeout with 25 seconds left, up 7. But I expected it from you guys. Keep walking. All right. Stuff like that, but at the same time, it's just kind of tacky.
It's funny because when he brings something like that up, the memory bank comes back I remember that guy doing that, and I didn't like that at all.
But that didn't mean I didn't like, we have a very good relationship, and I just look and go like, why, man? Well, what? I mean, you're up 7 with 25 seconds, and you got the ball. Why you calling timeout? Are you calling timeout to – you kind of show me up in this house? Last time I checked, I'm the only person that's coached a team in the 5-on-5 area that took a team to the state tournament in basketball in DeKalb. So,
Yeah.
You beat me, that's bad enough.
Yeah.
2 years in a row, you know, after winning like 16, 17, 14 straight against
yeah.
against the Cavs, something like that.
Stop shaking your head like you don't know the exact
Yeah,
number.
you know
What
the
was it?
exact number.
It was 14.
Yeah.
14.
I was waiting.
I knew the
it
number
too.
two. I knew the number two because I looked at it. You know, I look at stuff like that. You know, and that was probably the most recent one that just kind of aggravated me. I guess it aggravated me because we were friends,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That's the ones. That's
but-
always the ones that sting the most.
Yeah.
You expect it from somebody you
Yeah.
don't like.
Yeah. But you know, me and you said Bobby. Me and Dana used to go at it pretty good when I was at the Cab. Me and a guy in softball that used to coach at Macon. We were always fighting for the top spot there. It was it was a guy named John Condit was his name. He had a very good team. I had a good team.
So he's got the extra sport.
Yes.
To go
Yeah,
in
that's
there.
what I. Yeah.
And the thing about that is too, you got softball, and all of a sudden, you know, depending on where your dugout is and where you're going over there. So if the home team's on third base and you're coaching third base, you get to go over there, so you can have a little bit of extra conversation. It's not like on the basketball court where you're all on each side or anything
Separated
like
a
that.
little bit.
Danny could be over there, and I heard everything you said. Just so you know, we can hear you.
Oh, you can hear it right there. You know, you're in third base coaching box. They're in the third base dugout. You can hear everything they say, right? But I'd say that's been a little bit more fierce, probably younger in my career when I was a younger coach. You know, as I've gotten older, I people and Chris could tell you, you get so just focused on the game, right?
Yeah.
I can't hear anything in the crowd.
I would agree with that.
I can't hear. You know, I can't hear anything. Hey, did you see that in the game? No, I was coaching the game.
Yeah.
You know, you didn't see that. No, I didn't hear that either. You know,
I'm single. I'm so locked in and stuff like that. In fact, our players make fun of me all the time. They're like, you don't even understand what, like, we'll be asking you a question and you don't hear it. I'm like, dude, I'm already coaching the next possession. I don't know what you're talking about. Trev, I mean, I don't know if maybe coaches, or do you ever have a time where maybe we've all had, I guarantee you we've all had the one where the kid you're going through the handshake line and the kid just kind of drops the hand down. I had.
or slaps you real hard.
Oh yeah, one of the other. In fact, I think I'd rather just have it. Just don't do it. If you're going to give me the bomb,
We could be all be like Rick Pitino. We ain't doing the handshake line anymore.
Yeah.
You know, St. John's, they don't do it.
one of the most controversial stories I ever wrote was I said they need to do away with the handshake line in church league softball, and people were like,
I bet you got it.
church league. They're like, it's church league softball. I was like, you ever been to a church league softball game?
Yeah, seriously.
Come on now. Let's be.
seriously.
Yeah. Anyways, Trev. go ahead.
Not in the handshake line or anything like that, but I will give a story of why me and Coach Mitchell may not have been great friends.
Can't wait.
So my senior year, we beat them down there for the district title, and CJ takes his shirt off, running around like a crazy person. So the next year, we know we're gonna face him again. Well, we get wind that Coach Mitchell had gotten a picture of that and printed it up, and I don't know if he put it in the locker room or he put it in everybody's locker, but one of them. So then they come here, we beat them again, no shock.
No shot.
So then the next year, they're not in our district anymore. So they come play us probably third or fourth game of the year, and it's here. So I walk into the office. I just went in the hospitality room. Coach Mitchell is sitting right by the door. And I didn't really say anything. I sit down. I'm eating my chicken tenders or whatever. And I look up at Coach Mitchell, and I said, hey, how'd that picture that you put in the locker room work out for you? So maybe that's why we got off to a rough start. But I think
Just keep supplying billboard material.
So Trev's over there saying, we're talking about all the times where maybe a coach came at us and Trev's just flipped. He's like, this is the time I went at a guy.
What's funny is Eric has loved him the whole time, and hey, Trev's just he ain't sending the Valentine's card to him. I'm just telling you.
I think we're good now.
Yeah, good now.
We went to the River House
Yeah,
a little bit.
let him play cards with him.
Yeah,
a little bit.
I think we're good now.
That's good. That's good. I like that. Trev, did you ever come up with a question, or do you want me to ask the one from Facebook?
Yeah, I'm gonna steal the one off Facebook.
Go ahead.
Somebody said, "What's the Mount Rushmore of Pioneer athletes or Warren County athletes?"
Well, you got to have Womack on there.
No
of
doubt.
course, right?
Yeah.
Womack
Jeff's
comes up
one.
immediately.
Russ Spivey's going to that
Russ
list.
Spivey.
Yeah, we've had people ask about the retired jerseys in the high school and stuff like that. I think Russ gets in there. I mean, Cat, a guy
Cat,
that
that's another one.
comes here and then ends up pitching in the World Series. It's really hard to argue against Cat.
Yeah.
I mean, there's going to be plenty of people that are going to say that CJ's.
I think he's.
I mean, he's the only Mr. Football in Warren County history. He was a 1,000-point basketball scorer, 2-time district champion. Just so happened in one of those district champions, he hit the game-winning shot. He
Probably going to be in the NFL.
Yeah.
Probably going to be in the NFL. Don't want to leave out. I'm struggling to think of the names that were the biggest names on that 1979 girls championship team. The Daltons. Yeah,
I think the Dalton family as far.
Yeah,
as
you might as well.
Charlotte,
Yeah, there's kind of a little bit of the Dalton family.
Yeah.
On
and
that
Eads would be on that list too.
Yeah, Eads would be on there. I don't know if you want to just cut it down to straight just 4, because I know that's always everybody says, oh, you got to have the Mount Rushmore. I think that's a lot of the. I think those are ones that are in the running, stuff like that. I mean, it depends. Like the Mount Rushmore, Warren County athletics in the last 50 years.
Yeah.
I mean, Dixie Clyde Roberts. People talk about that in the 20s. He's this 100 years ago, and people still talk about him. So you're gonna get names like that. I don't know. I mean, in 10 or 15, 20 years, when everybody starts looking back and seeing the accomplishments, everything, I know the sport doesn't get as much pub or anything like that, but what Lauren Slatton did as a golfer, to go to the state 4 times, to end up finishing in the top 10 3 times, won a state championship, 4-time district champion, 3-time region champion.
It's hard. It's hard to
Good
get
resume.
A kind of girl that could end up being an LPGA type. Legitimately could end up being a professional golfer herself.
We're gonna say it again. I mean, you talk about the next 5 to 10 years. Hey, in the next 2 to 3 weeks, you're gonna have a kid that could put himself there with the Keel kid.
Yes.
I mean, let's just be honest. I mean, the amount of, what was it, 153 wins he has now?
Yeah, he's
more now.
I think it's more than that.
Okay,
now.
so I mean, he may get to 160 wins if he wins a state title. He would be a kid that I'm not going to say he's top 4 of all time. It's kind of like the Slatton. A lot of times, some of those sports, and this has been talked about, they kind of get glanced over. But what they've done with their sport has never been done in this community in that way. Mm-hmm. Especially with wrestling. I mean, he's fixing, he's got an opportunity to do something that's never been done. Where Lauren, we've had some state championship golfers before with Scott Hale and those type things. Team. So in the 92 team, that's a tough one. But I think the one guy that you would definitely put on there is Womack.
Oh yeah,
no doubt. And I think CJ's no doubt probably is on that list.
I've made the argument he's the best Pioneer of all time, even over Womack, because of what he did in multiple sports. Yeah, because the championships he won in basketball, helping take the basketball team to sectionals back-to-back year, which is the pinnacle of where the boys basketball program's been to, I believe. I don't know if we've ever made a state in boys basketball, so that's as far as they've ever went. He was a big part of that, and the fact that he was the first Mr. Football in our school's history, the 8-3 team the year that he goes up there, and like you said. Then if he gets drafted, he becomes an NFL player. His legacy really only gets bigger the more that he accomplishes. I mean, so I think that he's definitely in the running for that, if not there. I mean, like I said, he's in a very, very small. It's a small conversation of athletes that he's in when it comes to being one of the greatest Pioneers of all time. And a lot of that too is like you almost have to have like hey, we got the greatest Pioneers, and okay, it's lady Pioneers, that because it's hard to cross over and compare the sports, and hey, this accomplishments of this or the accomplishments of that, because it's just different. But I think that those are some. It's funny though. There's so many more baseball guys.
Yeah.
There's so many more baseball
Danny's
guys.
got one on his bench with Gooby. People just forget what Gooby did as an athlete. And Gooby was a multi-sport guy. I mean, with football, basketball, I mean, I played with him. And then baseball, the accomplishments, Cat.
Olesick's
the guy.
State champ. The guy went to MTSU, holds some records at MTSU still.
There's a lot of baseball guys that's come through.
Somebody on Facebook said Barbara Biles.
Barbara Biles is a great one, Babs, 100%.
Coach Fitch, your wife, also said she is watching. So just
shout out to Miss Fish.
Hey.
He'll be home for dinner.
We'll send him
and you don't have to worry about building a fire tonight. When he came to Jeff's, he almost froze to death. He almost had hypothermia. It's a little bit warmer in this place tonight.
Yeah, I mean, Coach, you've been in Warren County long enough to know. I mean, you said it right off the bat, Womack or anything like that. Being on the periphery of Warren County, but maybe not being in the depths of Warren County, what were the names that you kind of always knew? Just from
Well,
being,
I don't have as deep a history as you guys go, but just being here the past couple of years, we talk about female athletes. Tony Girl that played
Yes.
soccer
Yes.
at Tech. She's a very good player. She did a lot of good things at Warren County. I've heard about Womack. I've heard about Spivey. Gooby, Cat Walker, CJ.
Yep.
But I've been in the building with Lauren Slatton. She's great. I think Keel has a chance to be one of those people. As an individual, it's a different individual
Oh, yeah.
versus team sport
Yeah.
type of deal. You could almost go out there with we got a couple of guys in track and field that have been good. Ella was good, and even though she played at DeKalb, she had good athletics here.
we had a 2-time state champion that just came through.
Yeah, so I mean,
Everybody's looking around because they
kinda-
don't want to be able to be the one that has to pronounce her last name. It's Ali Beninki, I believe.
yeah, Ali Beniki, she was at DeKalb too, and
we
what's
knew it.
funny?
We just didn't want to be the one that had to be.
When I was coaching there, I tried to get her because I remember when she moved from Michigan, I tried to get her to play basketball because she played basketball in Michigan.
Oh yeah.
And she brought me her film, and I watched it. I was like, well, Tennessee basketball a little bit different than Michigan basketball, a little bit better.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, I ain't determined if I'm going to play basketball or do indoor track, right? Because she was doing winter track and high jump. And she decided to do that, and then she was crossing over here when I was there. And obviously the best choice. She made the best
I think
choice,
she
right?
yeah, I think so. 2-time
Pretty
state
solid.
champs now. I think she's already OVC, all conference stuff like that. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
she made
but
it.
she's histories go back a long ways.
Oh, yeah.
Eras are different
Yep, no
too.
doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah. Well, and a lot of it too goes down to what do you value when it comes to, when you talk about the greatest or a Mount Rushmore or anything like that. I mean, do you the high statistical the accomplishments, or do you want to value who were on the best teams, or a little bit of both? Those things happen and stuff like that. Because I mean, there's been people that were great athletes that come through here that might not have been on the best teams, so they kind of get looked over. Or there might be people that are propped up for the fact that
They were on a good
they're
team.
on a great team, so all of a sudden their name gets elevated and stuff like that. When in reality, there was probably 5 to 10 at any point would be there. I think the '92 baseball team's a great example of that. Is now, I mean, obviously Olesic was a huge name on that, but I mean, I think you could run down that list, and I know Gooby, if he was here, I know that was a little bit after his time, or PK would tell you from probably about 86 to about 96 in baseball.
Loaded.
You had dudes
Loaded.
everywhere.
Well,
McCarter.
It's
Yeah.
what Danny's talking about, and what boys basketball, and for about a decade, this is how it's kind of been. I mean, when Warren County's walked in, they've been competitive. Well, back during that time with baseball, when they got off the bus, you kind of knew Warren County's probably going to be the favorite. You're going to have to do something pretty special to beat them on a nightly basis. So, and that's a great thing, because in high school athletics, the cycles are usually 3 to 4 years. So when you can put a decade together, you've had a lot of pretty good athletes that had a common bond. And it kind of starts building on, like Danny's talking about. You got a basketball team that maybe they've not been in these situations, but as a team they do still expect to be successful because they've seen it. They've seen it, in the previous years.
Got a question?
My question.
Go ahead.
This kind of come up in the Tennessean in a couple of the last couple weeks, and we talk about the Dalt being a special place. I think the Dalt when it's right, it's right. But I want to kind of not really bypass the Dalt, but here's my question: best high school facility that you've played in, or the best atmosphere? Because Danny brought up something last night. Jay said it on the radio last night. Siegel used to be a place when you went and played. That Siegel Nation student section was something to see. It was something special to be a part of, even if you were on the opposing side. That's something, that's when Coach Wood came up through the ranks. He was playing at the high school level when Siegel Nation was as good as it is. What's the best gym and the best atmosphere and maybe the best pregame or something of that nature that you've seen that you're like, hey, not that I like going to play there, but I do like the atmosphere? Where's yours there, Terrell?
Oh, On the road,
Yeah, on the road.
probably the best one I've ever seen. I'll say two. Siegel, when we went down there in the first round of the sectionals, and then Sparta on the road for our first district championship. Those
Sparta's
were
a good place.
Yeah, those were two that I had. I don't know about.
What about you, Jeff?
Yeah.
I'm sitting here trying to think about it. I mean, there's things that are popping up. I mean, obviously that Sparta. I don't think I'll ever forget that Sparta district championship game. But a lot of that too was just the fact of the vibe of it was Warren County. I mean, it was one of the first times I think I've ever walked in a gym where you could all basically say, all this side is Sparta,
Yeah.
all this side is Warren County, and it's just going back and forth. But I think that had a lot to do with both of the communities in that one. But Sparta was always I like the 2-deck
Yeah.
there. Anybody that brings a band in. And it's a good
Gotta be a good band. We've talked about that
Yeah,
before.
we've had that before because there was a couple of times I've been to a place and I was like, we're struggling right now. And you
Just turn the radio on, right?
Yeah, I was saying, and the bad thing about it, you don't have to wait until the game. If you're there for the anthem, you know within about a minute whether or not the band's going to be.
First key.
Yeah, he's like, let's try that one again. I don't know, man. I mean, the thing about it is you usually get influenced by the fact that how big the game is becomes how good the crowd is. I mean, that Cleveland game that y'all played, they ended up losing. That region, the region semifinal or region final game against Cleveland, their crowd was really, really good, really, really fired up.
What I'm talking about, like Cleveland's got a nice gym. When
Yeah.
you go into
like
it,
a
something
real
the
arena.
kids want to be a part of. You want to play on that floor.
Bradley Central has that. Bradley Central's as intimidating a gym as you could ever walk into when it talks about girls basketball. You got the black court and about every single banner that you could ask for, and they all say state. And you're like, this is gonna be a night.
Honestly,
You got to walk into the Upperman lobby too.
Yes,
yeah.
Upperman's,
Yeah.
yeah.
When you walk into Upperman, it's pretty.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, same thing as like Shelbyville. Like when you walk into Shelbyville and they have all of those, those state championship, national championship trophy out there with Insel and them. That's pretty.
yeah.
It's an intimidating deal.
As far as that's concerned, but just me personally, like Upperman is a tough place to play at. The Hive is what they call it, and it's always packed.
Yes.
And then as both of those programs have been really excellent in the past 15 or so years, it's just catapulted that.
Yeah.
White County, you've said that. That was a big rival for, going to the Patch is good.
Yeah.
It was a big atmosphere over there the night. Probably the best one that I've been in as a spectator was when I went to Maryville High School and watched Lee Humphrey play. They ended up playing at Florida. And you turn around, Billy Donovan's sitting on the top row watching him too. And they have Maryville High School has a smaller gym, packed, and they were playing like Alcoa or somewhere. I've been to the Alcoa Maryville football game a couple of different times. My buddy's the AD at Alcoa, and that's a crazy environment also. But the Dalt is pretty special.
It's pretty special.
I mean, we've talked about this a lot too. I mean, the Dalt is. I mean, the Oakland football field,
Yeah.
the intimidation factor of just being there.
Jump man over the screen.
Yeah, the fanfare is not always the biggest thing there, but I mean, just when you walk into Oakland, you're like, they're doing.
Yeah, they do something right.
They do
around
something right around here. Yeah, I think that it should be. I think that the Dalt absolutely should be mentioned. There's been times that the Dalt's is intimidating and as a vocal presence and as engaging as anywhere. And I think there's been a good stretch multiple times where you're like, hey, you don't want to go play Warren County.
The reason I brought that up is just I think White County could be ahead as far as in a voting deal, but we kind of lose sight as fans and coaches and players of how good these places are in this area. Because last night, Danny was exactly right. Somebody sent me a picture before the Siegel girls game, before it was played. Siegel had maybe 25 people. It was just bad. It was not a great atmosphere. Well, when you look, the Patch is a great place to play.
Yes.
Cannon County
Yep.
So I
mean, what I'm saying,
I had a miserable
Yeah.
experience
The
playing at
the
Canton last year, but their
Cavs
fans are great.
is great, not only basketball but football wise.
Yeah.
Those are atmospheres that when you get to the bigger cities and those type things, you don't
Lose it.
Kids lose that. So you ought to always be grateful in this area that you're getting that opportunity to play in these type places. Danny's right, man. You go up in the Hive, it's like the lighting is just. I never
It's
understood
weird.
it. It's
Yeah.
just terror. It's different. You're like, how am I supposed to play in a dark gym
There's
tonight?
shadow.
Yeah.
It's, you know what I mean? That
Yeah.
was something that was always. Cannon County was always a tough place,
Yeah.
in my opinion, because
Yes.
it was like they were right there
On top of
on
it.
Yeah.
top of you.
One
And
game.
they got those side where they got the behind the basket
And
too,
then
there too.
I don't know, but when I was at the Cab, we used to go up and play Pickett. Dude, don't go to Pickett.
Yeah.
Do not go up
Especially
there.
on a Saturday night.
Dude, hey, everybody
Yeah.
in
The town shuts down.
Burnstown is going to be at the Pickett County basketball game. Every
On
single person.
on that note, I will also say, and I was at Van Buren County one time when I realized there is as passionate of a fan base as I've ever been at.
yeah.
That might be another story for another
Yeah.
time. But I was like, hey, we might have to literally fight our way out of here.
Yeah.
If you're a Warren County fan or anything, you're going to have to fight your way out of this game. That was an interesting night.
Speaking of atmospheres and talking about Cannon County, and you were at the Cab, so you can kind of talk about it. One game, I went to one of the games down there at Cannon County, and they were playing DeKalb. I never realized how much those communities, they don't like each other.
Wooberry.
Yeah.
That's what we called it. Wooberry.
That was one of the most crazy, and it was like not a game that meant anything for the schedules or for anything, standings or anything like that.
Oh, it means something.
But it was packed, and I
Yeah.
mean, I was told that there was like a pep rally where administrators saying
Yeah.
F the cab or something. And
Yeah, I was
it's
coaching.
like,
I was
whoa.
coaching the.
That's one that
I was
you gotta
coaching the
do.
girls team when that happened. You know, in a
Yeah.
pep rally, they sent it to us. You know what I did? Put it up on the wall.
bulletin board material.
Bulletin
Yeah.
board.
Yeah.
Hey, that's definitely one of them four-letter words we got to censor on here, even in the OT.
The
I
another
did.
one. Sorry, I just want to throw the last one out because I experienced this one as a player. When we played in the sub-state game at Sweetwater, when Aaron Green and the Upton guys were there, and Jerry was coaching the team. You know, I was a junior, and we left and walked in, and they had all the. You know, they play in a dome, right? And it probably seats 1,200 people, maybe. You know, it's all the way around. Well, we walk in, and they have chairs, fold-outs in the hallways, right? Down the hallways, like, what is all this about? You know, we go to the locker room, can't touch a ball 30 minutes for, right? So we come out, and this Danny Bond was coaching that team at DeKalb, and we come out, and all of these people are sitting in these chairs down the hallways, right? And then you hear over the intercom, they got the radio guy on the intercom. These people couldn't get in the gym because of the fire marshal code, so they put them in the hallways so they could still enjoy the game through the radio. And you walk out on the floor, and it is packed because they had won the state championship the year before.
Yeah.
Had Aaron Green, who was Mr. Basketball.
Oh, yeah.
I thought we were the third best team in the state that year. We lost in the regional finals to Harriman, who had Jermaine Copeland, Shane Boyd.
Wow.
They ended up beating Sweetwater, and they were in the same district at that time. They ended up beating them in a state championship game. You know, we lost to Harriman on their home floor by 12. We lost to them by 8 at Sweetwater. But that was the only time as a player that I ever was just like, I'm not prepared for this. I am not prepared for
Not
this.
ready.
I thought the worst thing that ever happened to me was I got off the bus at a freshman basketball game at Lebanon, and a guy goes, "Look at a big cheeseburger coming in here." I was like,
I'm gonna call that from now on.
the best thing that I laughed about this is I was like, they don't have any idea I'm not going to step foot on the court tonight. Cheeseburger's on the end of the bench.
Looks like Tarzan plays like
like
James.
Yeah. Well, no, the best part was we ended up getting blown out, and they started, and then I could hear some of their fans like, "Put cheeseburger in." I was like,
It's
hey.
double cheeseburger.
But I did. I think I got in and scored. I think I got in and scored a couple of buckets, and they were like, "Oh, look at this guy!" And I was happy.
And here's what's funny. He said he thinks he got in. He knows he got in.
He knows.
He got a couple buckets.
I did. I got a couple buckets. Yeah, we got.
He knows where he was at when he
Exactly.
scored.
He
and-
knew exactly the move he
Yeah.
made.
I know exactly the move.
I can tell you the
I
move
was,
he did.
I was on the right block, and I
went
went right
left.
over the right shoulder, and I laid it up with my left hand.
Yep.
Yeah, guys, been great.
Man,
I think
that
our
was
OT
good.
session and everything. Folks, if you want to continue to join us on the OT and continue to ask us questions, we're gonna fire in those questions. We didn't let Danny ask a question.
Yeah.
Oh,
Come on, man.
You got anything, Coach?
You got one?
Ask a
We
question.
didn't tell you to be prepared for
Here's
a
his question. What time is it?
Dude, you got when I text you, you got to come up with a question. That's how long it takes me, right? I appreciate you guys being and doing what you do. I don't have a question. I got a comment, I guess. We appreciate what you guys do. Look, you can't please everybody, right? We're big coaches. We know that for a fact.
Yes.
I mean, you're businessmen too, right? But I think that you guys got the right intent with what you're doing here with the Warren County Sports Authority, highlighting the teams, highlighting the community, highlighting the players, giving your perspective on things. And, just as a community member, I chime in every week. Sometimes I chime out faster than I have to occasionally, because there'll be sometimes I'm like, skip. Get to the basketball stuff. Come on, get to the basketball stuff. But I really appreciate you guys, pubbing our kids, pubbing our programs. Means a lot to our kids, and just to let you know, the kids listen to it. Every Thursday when we go to practice, that's what they talk about in the locker room. They're talking about the podcast. So they do, if they listen to what you're saying and they hear it, not to say that it's good or bad, right? I'm just saying it's interesting. It's interesting to hear their takes on stuff too.
Oh, one of y'all's players did let it slip that they were like, we always try to keep a running tally of how quickly Jeff can mention make a Boyd reference into the pod.
That's a good.
He ain't the only one.
And what's funny is you say something about that is like the night that we played Shelbyville here.
Yeah.
Y'all guys were talking about Shelbyville the week before or whatever, and they were like, they said we were going to lose to Shelbyville. I was like, nah, I don't think that's what they said. Maybe you misheard that, or you misremembered what you were talking about, or maybe they were talking about the girls or something, that it was going to be highly contested. I don't think that was the expectation. It's like, well, we're going to show it to them tonight, Coach. We literally played one of our best games, so whatever the inference that you were using, or Jedi mind tricks, do it for the next couple weeks too. So
Hey, see Willie, go get you 30 come Friday night and senior night, man.
yeah, but we really appreciate it, man, and I appreciate it as a coach too.
Yes, sir.
So, thank you.
We appreciate what you guys do.
100%. We're behind you. We want to see that finish out strong. Thursday night, finish out your district regular season, and then Friday night we're going to honor some seniors for that Cannon County game. You can catch those on the radio. The voice of the Pioneers, Jay Walker, will be at those games, calling those games. And again, you can start hearing the Simmons Says radio show will be 9 to 10 a.m. Starting February the 24th on WBMC 97.7 FM. A Warren County Sports radio show will be, I believe we're going to start going live here in the next couple of weeks on the radio, but until then, I think they're going to be releasing it on Thursday night. But we're on Facebook Live now. Last time I looked at it, we had over 2,000 views for the night, so
I don't know.
not bad.
No,
that's what I saw a second ago. So if you want to get those questions in, continue to get those questions in. We'll answer everything. And
my last question to you is going to be this: have you prepared your body to get
That's what
Saturday at 9 o'clock?
No.
Because that means you got to show up like at least 8:58.
I don't know. I hadn't asked him what the buzzer is on what time.
Are you
going to
be? Is it going to be live video?
Over and under on how many times he's late the first week.
No.
I'm going,
No, first week.
I'm
I'm going
going-
to take the under.
I'm going 5.
I'll be here. I'll be here on time the first
Wait,
week.
first week.
Make a good impression.
It's when he gets
Stage,
comfortable.
right?
Yeah.
Dead air.
It's when he gets comfortable that you got to worry about it.
I have to get it long enough to where I can get some prepared statements or some recordings or something that if they're like, Man, Simmons is running late. Go ahead and hit the Simmons snooze 5 minutes.
Hey, Simmons has already got a best of 6 episodes in. We're going to the best of episode.
Well, guys, we're going to be done here. If you join us on Facebook Live, we really appreciate it. If you're listening on the podcast, really appreciate that. We're going to start a new feed for the Warren County Sports Authority podcast, so you'll be able to download it there. We'll try to continue to keep those on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and everywhere that you can get your podcast. For Trevor Evans, for Chris Sullins, our special guest, Danny Fish tonight, I am Jeff Simmons. See y'all next week. Goodbye. Yeah, I saw it. It's over 2,000 views. I was like, goodness gracious. People like us that much.